As we get going on a Friday morning, just getting some Canadian employment data coming through here for January. 37,300 jobs created versus 20,000 reading expected there. So a little bit better than expected for January. Part-time, 48,900. Overall number downside, negative 11.6 thousand versus negative 12,000 reading expected there. Unemployment rate, yeah, they were expecting 6. I was seeing a few people talking about 6% this morning, comes in 5.7 on the unemployment side of things. No real significant U.S. economic data on a Friday morning. The next big number to pay attention to is going to come next Tuesday. Yep, the big one itself, CPI set for Tuesday morning at 8:30. Happy Friday. Ton to have a look at this morning, including a positive market to start here. A number of earnings reports surprising. Cloudflare, one of those. Huge move to the upside this morning, 20+%. I mean, there's Affirm, Pinterest, Pepsi, to name a few. We'll talk about Microsoft here on this OpenAI note this morning. $2 billion in revenue for OpenAI. It's Friday, February 9th, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. Yet another green day or green candle setting up here once again. Not a huge move here in the pre-market, about 0.3% from the NASDAQ overall. It's the Qs, S&P looking about the same. 3 days in a row here. This grind higher continues on the back of very strong tech, very strong earnings all week long. And now we have very strong Bitcoin to end the week as well, through 47,000 here. So a lot of the equities related to cryptocurrency is looking pretty good here to start things off.
Yeah, awfully strong. Mara making a big move yesterday, continuing with that today. Also, CleanSpark reported. It is also up on the day, so we may see 50,000 sometimes next week. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, what a week it's been right across the board here, coming on the back of earnings reports. Here's just a few this morning that we'll talk about. I mean, Affirm, there's Boyd Gaming, BYD, there's Expedia, Pinterest as well, Take-Two, Pepsi. Top to bottom here, guys, lots of movement to discuss here to kick things off on a Friday. Good morning.
Yeah, it's just another day with multiple double-digit movers, and just pick your direction. You got them, whether it's the miners up, Mara and CleanSpark, or you've got, I mean, Affirm's not down double digits anymore, but it was. Pinterest recovered a little bit, but they were to the woodshed as well. That was a ridiculous move on Pinterest.
Yeah, down and then up, yeah.
20-something%, and then it was, oh goodness. Like this is the issue for anyone, if you're not watching, catch the recap show. And earnings season has proven that volatility has gotten ridiculous in the aftermarket. Like some of the mistakes that some people are making, it's like it'll go up and then end up, Affirm was up 10% at one point, maybe it was double digits, and within a matter of minutes, you were down 15 or 20. So you got to be able to digest what's going on. That's why you want to make sure you know the news. But let's not sleep on day two, just because we got some shiny new things today. And I know there's a few of them. You don't want to sleep on things like ARM, things like Palantir, things like Snapchat, things like Disney. Oh, yeah, so there's just a lot to look at that's new, but some of the other big runners this week deserve our attention too.
Oh yeah, Palantir's at 25 again, right? Huh? That's right. Okay, we'll get some revenge on that stock. Hey, welcome everybody. It's Friday. No market recap show today, but we do have the podcast. We'll kick the energy off here on a Friday. I was about to say a Monday. It's a Friday.
Already? Damn.
I said that to the wife. I was like, oh my God, it's a weekend. She's like, what the hell is that? And it's like, it's so true, because tonight we're both busy again, and then got invited to a party next Friday, but nope, we're at the Scotiabank for the PWHL Battle on Bay Street game that's happening Friday night, and then we have games this week. It's a busy weekend, but it's a busy market. Who cares about what we're doing this weekend? We'll have the podcast tonight. We have Affirm. I'm looking at Disney again. I've got my guy back here, Patrick. He's going to be yelling to me about Mara, so that should be really exciting. Congratulations. I think it was your best day yesterday, no? It was his best day yesterday. Let's go. Congratulations, Patrick, and everybody else. I mean, the office. There he is. Hey, what's up? There he is. He's just chilling out. All right, so, oh, there he is. Hey, Patrick, there, with a dare.
That's a good shot. I like that one.
Yeah, he's just right there. you know. So, anyways, yeah, great. And that's what. Hey, look, man, I'm gonna try to promote the office and good traders, you know, and you know, good people as much as we possibly can. So congrats to that. Look, and that's just another point about real trading, right? We're now, you know, we've rebranded, and Patrick's a good example, and there's many examples behind us. We had Luis Barbado coming from the Barcelona office as well, talking all about different strategies. And there you go, right? You and I barely trade those names. You have Bitcoin up right now. You know, he can trade Mara. We can now trade Bitcoin.
I have a stink bid on Bitcoin right now.
We could trade, you know, over 50 plus markets with millions of different styles, man. Algorithmic style. You can, if you know how to code, you can join real trading and start to code. If you know how to trade breakouts or technical analysis, anything like that, we're ready to rock and roll. And
you can trade Forex and futures. It's not just equity. It's pretty much everything.
People saying, "What's up, Pat? What's up, Pat?" Yeah, so
that's a great shot. I love that.
Pat says, "What's up to you guys as well?" So, all right, there it is. Hedge Eye Daily Market Playbook. I like that. Hit that scan right there and go find out what Hedge Eye is all about, boys. Free for 30 days. Let's go.
All right, we got a revision there. There was a move in the market at 8:30, guys. We got a revision for CPI on the past two, it looks like, or the past quarter at least. So Q4. December, they revised downside to the tune of 0.1%. November, it looks like they revised up to the tune of 0.1%. So November goes to 0.2 from 0.1. December goes to 0.2 from 0.3. So the initial move higher, it looks like on that December number, again, going from, on the month-over-month CPI to 0.2 from 0.3. Overall revised Q4 CPI unchanged, however, at 3.3% if you consider all 3 months put together. But, I mean, we're looking for any indication that, you know, we're heading in the right direction here as far as this inflation is concerned. But good to see at least December, again, going from 0.3% to 0.2%. We'll see if that actually translates into what's coming next week.
Yeah, what I want to see is where the disinflation is, because shelter inflation is disproportionately weighted in whether you look at PCE or CPI. It takes the majority of one's paycheck, yet it's not weighted that way. So you know, some of us continue to feel the inflationary pressure, yet you know the data comes out not showing that. So we'll have to wait and see where the disinflation is, but yeah, not a bad look.
Yeah, we had some comments from Fed's Waller earlier this morning pointing to this revision, essentially saying they were hoping that this would confirm that inflation is heading in the right direction. Again, looks good for December, but if you go back as far as November, again, revision to the upside here, all of these just 0.1%. Either direction. So I mean, it's not a negative, but not a lot to kind of chew on here, guys. 0.4 now for the NASDAQ, though. That pop coming off of that.
You need to remember, it's a bull market.
Yep.
And I keep trying to remind myself, like I saw someone in the chat this morning even say, hey, when are we going to get these? When are we going to get these revisions on ADP? You got some on CPI, but I just want to try to keep it simple, because the overall look of, to me, what's happening with the NASDAQ and on this weekly, like we just made this breakout on the NASDAQ. The ES just took the 5,000, and on a closing basis, seems to have every intention of holding it today. So we'll see, and it's just. You see the next stage of the break happening. We had a nice little pullback. You broke out, consolidation, breakout again. Just want to stick with the thesis that there should be enough strong names out there that you should be looking for longs. That's why there's been such a leaning toward dip buying when there are pullbacks on names that we like. Now, obviously, you get a bit of whipsaw here on the number at 830, so we'll see if we can hold some of those lows. But you stick to the individual names. The trend is your friend. I don't know that I want to just start anticipating getting bearish. I still look forward to NVIDIA earnings, saying it can pull back. I mean, ARM's valuation is a little bit ridiculous, but I think, you know, sometimes just take a breath, always remember what the longer term chart looks like, and go from there as your basis, and let the data come, and let the data change our minds by showing us trend breaks. Haven't really seen much of that yet. And the other thing to keep in mind too is, oops, I got a bad wick on the cues there. The other thing to keep in mind, look at the look at the overall the way that the Qs traded yesterday was stair step up. But if you ever see in the afternoon show or in the midday where it's like, oh, we keep bouncing off a certain level, switching gears into scalp mode at the middle of the day is a big thing. I had a conversation with one of the trading floor managers specifically about this, that some traders, it's either do something different in the middle of the day, or maybe don't trade, but be willing to switch gears. Because every time we see something like that, and we saw, whether it's an individual name can do the same thing as well, bouncing off the same bottom, bouncing off VWAP, those are the types of trades you can put on in the middle of the day, because we seem to see this a lot. I will be looking at this level that you can see in the Qs for potential bounce zones. If we get down there and I think it's market up, then bouncing off of support levels is the way, previous resistance turning into support is the way I want to approach it. We get down to 43.35 here, and I'd be looking for some tech names to try to play longs off of. So I'm going to keep it simple. Trend is your friend.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have a note on Microsoft today. You see this name is trying to break out as well. I mean, it not trying is. I mean, here's the daily chart once it loads up, still at the top, going further and further right now, up to 417, up 0.5%. I mean, Apple's trying to get to that 190 area. So it's like all these big dogs just continue to lead the market. So I don't think you need to fight this. And then you get some wicked moves from like Cloudflare here. There it is right there. Oops, BL. No, NQ. Is it an NY name? Okay.
I guess.
Yep. Right there. It's not Brazil. Oh, no, now my chart won't change. Okay. All right. Well, that's fun. Okay, here, now it will. Anyways, up to 111, 112, hit like 120 there. Here it comes. So anyways, another big blowout there. We had Danielle Shea on yesterday, and she even mentioned this name as a potential monster before the number came out. So thanks to Danielle for coming out yesterday and talking all about this name again. Another one that's outpacing its expectations. So it's like, you know, we mentioned Fortinet, we mentioned PanW, you know, cybersecurity seems to be hot, AI's hot right now, crypto's hot. Like, as we continue to go, man, Mara, like, we were just talking yesterday, we yelled over and we're like, oh, you know, long at 18, long at 17. Come on, chart. All this kind of stuff. And now look at Mara, up another 12% and starting to get back going. Oh, and then by the way, yesterday we talked about Coinbase. I was like, oh, I like it if we can get above that 138. Well, you don't have a chance to do anything about 138. Here's 138 right here. I was like, oh man. As soon as I came in today, I turn around. I'm like, yo, what's Bitcoin at? 47,000. All right, Coinbase, boom, 144. You know, it's like, I was hoping we'd be at like 136, 137 so we could punch this through. But again, you know, high tide raises all ships, and Coinbase, we stamped a buy on it down here as well, man. We were talking about holding that 120, but I did like it through 138. So 120 was a little bit of a risk, but now I think we can buy this dip back into these 130s, knowing that there's some support down here, and it looks like Bitcoin's going nowhere but up. So, yeah, this is the market, man. Almost like no matter where you're invested. However, there's some kind of a stat about 40% of the S&P names are below their 50-day moving average or something like that. So I'll have to double check that, but it's not. Pfizer down into the right, down into the left, blah, blah, blah. Lots of.
I'm throwing some cold water.
Right.
I got an entire sector that ain't giving you any love.
But energy's up 7%
okay,
this week.
This isn't the sector. It's the cannabis names.
It's actually giving love. It's actually up from where it was.
CGC. Now, I'm only bringing this up because reverse split, and it's got a $4 bottom. And I feel like if it doesn't hang on to this, that little like Huadun could happen. Hey, if it does, maybe CGC squeezes and does what the other reverse split names do. But yeah, you get it. If the only thing I can point to, or the first thing that comes to mind, is going to the weed stocks to tell you there's weakness, that tells you how strong the market is.
All right, I was reading this morning too, kind of interesting, of the 80%, or of the companies from the S&P 500 that have reported this earnings season, 80% have beaten. Higher than I think the historic average is around 69% or 65%. So earnings season has been impressive across the board. We're going to get Michael Noss on here to talk a little bit more about earnings. But before we do that, I wanted to mention this real quick. NVIDIA back to the upside today. Again, we have to pay attention to AI, not only AI, but chip stocks continuing to move to the upside. Unit, or a custom unit to target cloud, automotive, video gaming, and telecom on the chip side. So they're going to build you a chip to do whatever you would like it to do. Great for
Unbelievable.
NVIDIA. Yeah.
Yeah, this company can just maneuver so quickly, whether it's redesigning their chips for China or trying to take advantage of new industries to increase their total addressable market. The godfather of AI continues to do it. We'll see how they do. $700 obviously holding today.
Yeah, it's an interesting look. I mean, $30 billion, but still, guys, I mean, you can't say enough about not only NVIDIA, but this entire group continues to march higher here.
It does, but if you've noticed the last couple of days, that this 700 level at NVIDIA has been, I'd say it's like pretty much mixed results. Like you failed it the first time, you had like a late day aftermarket break, the second time through, third time, you could have scalped a couple of dollars off of it, but the best trade would have been to short the level, obviously, and then we're back out in front of it again today. So I don't wonder if this isn't more of a, let 710 break because 700's been a bit of a dog. So instead of getting, because you've been getting washed around or just messed with at that $700 level, I feel like if it doesn't hold it, there's probably some shorts in there somewhere. But let's see this thing take 710 and then we can get excited. It's like it's coiling up to do that anyways. And when NVIDIA goes, what difference does it make which break you get? So rather than try to be perfect with this 700 level every single day, I think you just let it really start to go. Take out like the 10s off the open or something, and then go off to the races. It just, you know, we're going to get their report, and what's crazy about it is, what was the number? It was like ARM's forward PE is more than twice as high as NVIDIA's. Like, not twice, it was like more than twice as high.
Yeah,
if
more.
If NVIDIA is the reasonable one in the room, when they're the ones growing at like 200% or nonsense numbers, ARM's like it's fractions of that. So it just goes to show you that you're getting a lot of exuberance, some squeezes, things like availability of float are driving some of these moves, where that's not what you're dealing with NVIDIA. They're going to have to actually give us something to justify this recent run here. But all these other types of names that have the low floats or the short floats, good to go. I need to be convinced we can get through this 710 before I'm looking at the longs again in NVIDIA, because 700 has been like, stare at it, what are we doing? Let's run away, and it doesn't run away from that price.
I see what Chef Joe is saying about breaking 605 and running up here. We could get a very, very similar break where we just keep going. And that, 705, I mean, it's happening right now. It's only 8:47, so there's no way I'm taking this break in the pre-market. So that way, if you look at it and you sort of think about where we are, like this is, maybe 707, 708. I have NVIDIA as the high being 707.94. So, that's right there. So 707.94. So I think a 708 break, and we take it. I mean, I don't see any reason not to get long the best name in the whole damn market. So, I mean, if we're thinking long, today, then, I mean, NVIDIA would be the right name. I've been shorting AMD. I mean, AMD yesterday was a monster.
It's different from,
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. So yesterday we had this 172 dead to rights on AMD yesterday, and we talked about that. That was all over the sticky note as well. And look at that. Look what the high was yesterday, 172 right there. We had that. We had that whole move. So I wonder if we almost had it all the way into the end of the day, if you guys remember. And then we closed the day at 169er. And then right now you're bouncing up against 170 half. So there's kind of two trades here that I'm thinking about. By the way, Michael Noss, I want to talk. I want to hear your opinion, and we're going to call him in a second, because on the show on Monday, we were talking about possible sideways moves here in Bitcoin. So I just want to know if his ideas here have changed, or we're just sort of at the top and what we're thinking about a breakout. So homework for you, Michael, but you only have a couple minutes to get it figured out. So I'll just delay this one more second because he probably wants to talk about something else anyways. But right there, 17, that's the best thing about these guests, is we bring on guests that are actual traders. So, just like us, Brendan brings us a name and we can ramble on it for 5 minutes. Michael Noss can probably do it for 25.
Easy.
So anyways, two trades today in the chip space. You either like this 172 short in AMD, in my opinion, you wait for that, or you get real aggressive and you just take the better name and punch the long at 708. I'll probably choose this, going Pikachu, I choose you, going long here at 708 on NVIDIA if and when we get to that spot. It's more a matter of when than if, I think, here, boys.
Yeah, we're going to talk earnings. A bit of a wrap up here as we get towards the end of earnings season. I was going to mention, though, there are still a number of notable names coming next week as well. I mean, we get DraftKings, we get Coinbase, we get Roku, we get DoorDash, Airbnb. I mean, we're not there yet, Michael Noss, but enough has passed, I think, that we can kind of take a higher look at the overall state of affairs here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this may actually be a segment for the next few weeks because, as Brendan said there's still way more earnings to go. And I'm selfish, and this is one of my favorite setups. So I'll quickly wax about Bitcoin because I was asked there first. I was on Monday. I did kind of think that we were going to be in a range for a period of time. Looks like I could be wrong on that, which happens a lot. But I don't have a chart up here, but it seems like Bitcoin 50,000 or so seems to be a really big level. So if we kind of clear that and hold above that for a day or so, then I was probably dead wrong. And to be honest, we're probably going back to Bitcoin all-time highs. So I expected a little bit more back and forth, but Bitcoin does what it does. So I am happy that I am long some crypto-related names. So it's one of those times that I'm happy to be wrong if I am. So, okay, now let's get into earnings. So, like Brendan was saying there, this is my favorite setup, and we're about halfway through, I think, ish earnings season. The idea is simple with this, that for you guys who are day trader, you're very focused on the day of earnings, maybe the day after earnings. For me as a swing trader, that's not too interesting because there's not really much I can do from a technical point of view when it comes to looking at daily charts when these things gap. They gap and they either go up or they go down. Again, great for day traders, not so much for swing traders. What I like to do, and I do this every quarter, and this is a bread and butter strategy that I absolutely love and I've brought to you guys a few times, but I wait for the earnings to chill out. I want to have a week, maybe two, of whatever the market digesting these earnings, and then I can take a play off it. So the scan that you see here, you can always go and hit me up on Twitter, you see below, or info at trade-ideas.com, or just go to trade-ideas.com and click on the help. I've told them what scan I'm sharing with you guys today, so they'll have that ready for you. And the idea is simple. I want stocks that have reported earnings at least 5 days ago, if not more, that are holding up in some fashion, and then I'm going to look for a continuation. So as a technical trader who doesn't focus on the news at all, I don't know half of what these companies do. I don't know whether the earnings were good or bad. I don't really care. But what I want to know is, what does the market think of it, right? Did the market like these earnings? And this first one, which is ALLY, Ally Financial, is a perfect example. So anytime you see this yellow vertical line on the screen, that was the earnings day. You can see a big gap and a very strong candle on this Ally Financial. But for me, I'm more concerned with what happened in the week or two after, where it had a little bit of an up move and a little bit of a down move, but it's definitely well above where it was before it reported earnings, and those earnings are incredibly strong. So for me, this is a way to incorporate some fundamentals into my technical style, where I know there's a whole bunch of nerds at Goldman Sachs that read the report and they've decided whether it's good or bad and they can buy it. I don't have to read the report. I can follow their lead. So if the earnings is great and it moves up and then crashes over the next few days, well, then I know that was just kind of a retail driven hype cycle. For this is a nice orderly pullback. The moving average I have is the 21 EMA. I've just noticed it works really well with this setup. And I also have an anchored VWAP from right before that earnings was announced. And that all sits around this $35 area. Also, we have the prior highs that we broke out of that I've highlighted here around the $35 area. And that's what I'm looking for. Are these earnings pullbacks after the excitement? Are they shallow? Are they calm? It doesn't look to me on this chart like people are aggressively selling this name. And is there an area of support or a technical pattern I can play off of? Because if I'm right and we get a lift from here, that's a nice second leg for, again, whatever Ally reported for earnings that the market seems to like. So again, $35 to $36 is the area that I'm going to play here. If we get a close under that horizontal blue line that I drew, then that's my sign to exit on this one. Next is IBM. I never thought I would be interested in IBM at all. This would be a boring security. always note that the small chart, what we call a picture-in-picture chart, which is something we have only at Trade Ideas here, in the lower left-hand corner is a weekly chart and a zoomed-out weekly chart. So this gives a good broad understanding that for the last couple years, IBM was stuck in this range, if you can see in that chart. And you can see we gapped up. We held that gap very well. We're pulling back, but just nice and calm. We're barely under the low of that earnings day. We're not under the 21 EMA. We have this nice falling wedge type pattern. So if IBM can dig in here and move higher around the 185 area or so, that's where I'm interested. I'd probably get out at 180 if I'm wrong. Again, just trying to see, can I nail these things and they get some sort of second leg off of a good earnings report. Next is TEL. I'm not too sure what TEL is, but I think that's a Swedish flag in the top right-hand corner or left-hand corner. Nice earnings, big gap on earnings. I came back. Oh, one chart up there. TEL, there we go. Nice floor here at about 140, above the 21 EMA, above this level of support right here. So anywhere above 140, I'm liking the look of. Below, it's time to go. And last but not least, WDC, which is Western Digital. So they make hard drives and stuff. I think the only reason I know that is I think I have one. Again, nice gap up, nice sideways consolidation after the gap on earnings, holding really strong here. So if we can get through that range, call it $59 or so, I like the look of this one. And I'm sure I will have more of these for you guys next Friday.
When it comes to risk in this case, you're just essentially giving it back to that last breakout in the case of some of these, or is it a set percentage? I know we're going to get that question.
No, for me, when I draw these areas, I'm a close to close trader. So where you guys are generally open to close, I look at them on the close and I see what the chart pattern is then. And then if I get a close below those lines, I'm out. But I always have a worst case stop in the gap, right? The synopsis here is that that gap was fundamentally driven and that I'm looking for a technical pattern after that. So if it loses that gap, I've got to go. I'm wrong.
Great stuff. Michael Noss, CMT over at Trade Ideas. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Because that's actually a question. I'm not being a swing trader, I always sort of thought about that because a lot of times if you're looking at a weekly chart, you're thinking about things like closes. You want to see that weekly close above or below a key price level. So yeah, but what happens if you get too big of a gap? And having that stop to protect you just in case, hey, look, it hasn't closed out this week, so technically I should still be in, but you get too big of a gap, have that stop loss. That's the kind of thinking you have to have as a trader. It's not just, hey, this is the line on the chart or thing I'm looking for. What are some of those worst case scenarios that might violate those, and how can you execute trades or save yourself some money? So I think that's a fantastic look there. Oh my goodness, Mara. It's just, Mara made another kind of press up here. And the other thing it's going, before we get too far on it, Palantir is broken 25. It's still grappling with like the pennies above it, which is something. It's not running away from this price. So you can call it a breakout, and it is, like it's broken the previous high, but the volume relative to the last couple of days hasn't been huge in the pre-market, but I feel like there's not a lot of gusto in this right now. So let's see what it does. I'm not completely convinced that this has really blown through that 25 level just yet, just based on the nature of, I want to say even the lack of buying above 25 right now. Like it's gone, but it's still right here. If that makes any sense, because that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a little long here on that one. Thanks for Michael Noss coming through again there, and yeah, I was just wanting to ask him about his Bitcoin opinion there because it does appear like it's starting to go. And yeah, so it's just one of those things right now. Yeah, I just took a Palantir long baby right now. We're gonna wait to see if it gets below the 200 period, which is right here, 80s. So that's going to be that for that. The market, I'm a little bit not puzzled with or anything like that. We had a huge move yesterday. We talked about the ES. The actual S&P did not close above 5,000, but this forward contract here, the ES, is over 5,000, 5,030 right now as we go. So, I mean, the market just continues. It's a new high right there. It's a 52-week high for the NASDAQ. It's an all-time high for the Dow. It's an all-time high for the S&P. So, I mean, we're continuing to go, man. And yeah, what's going to stop it is my question. We're through earnings. Well, we're not through earnings, but all the major names are now through. Now you get crypto going, and the financials seem to be healthy. We talked about oil and energy being at another 7% this week. We'll check on that when we get back. NASDAQ all-time highs, and Adara over at the screen.
Lots of interesting upgrades and downgrades on this list. Kicking it off with Aurora Cannabis, trading a little bit higher after getting an upgrade from Canaccord Genuity. United Airlines getting an upgrade here from Evercore ISI, getting a nice 3% boost here. Impinj getting an upgrade from Needham. And last but not least, Ralph Lauren getting an upgrade here from Telsey. This one had earnings earlier this week as well, so good look for them. Lululemon getting a downgrade here from Exane BNP Paribas. PayPal getting a downgrade from DZ Bank after its earnings and those disappointing guidance coming from that earning report on Wednesday. Expedia trading down 15% after its earnings, not helped here by a downgrade from BofA Securities. Last but not least here, Albemarle getting a downgrade, guys.
I mean, oh, we're going over there. All right.
All right, let's get into everything else we need to know as we head towards the open on a Friday. We'll kick it off with a look at the market. Here's Sharif.
50.18 right now. That's where we closed off yesterday, just a couple of points ahead where we closed off the day prior. We popped up into 50.43 on that revision of GDP, but right back down we go. Let's say to the bottom here, yesterday's range about 5,000 with respect to support, and let's see what we get, 50.50 as resistance.
It is a Friday. Congratulations, everyone made it to Friday. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab that. Use the QR code, go to watchlist.tradertv.live, enter your email address, and you can get that every single morning for free, right to your inbox. We've given a lot of this back this morning. We'll talk about Cloudflare here, NET to the upside. Hanging on to a decent gain still, obviously coming off a better than expected report, but it's worth noting that we're well off the highs here.
Yeah, Brendan, it was a beat on the top and bottom line. Good look here, and the guidance even better. They're guiding about 372 to 373 million. The street was looking for the lower end of that range, 372. So we'll continue to watch what they do. But yeah, they're also offering possible GPUs here for cloud and security. So keep your eye on that, looking to diversify their business.
First segment of the show is always brought to you by Hedgeye. Today is the final day to get Hedgeye's daily market playbook and quantitative trade signals free for 30 days. No credit card required, no strings attached. Go to hedgeye.com/TTV for free access.
Yes, sir. And I'll get this one out of the way. If you hear me say Cloudflare, just know that I mean Cloudflare, because I know I made that mistake yesterday, and it happens all the time. He's speaking fast. But we mentioned names with 20, 30% moves. I guess today's the one day we don't get a 30% move this week on an earnings play yet, because this is up 23%. It could be, this feels like it's the one. It's only a 5% short float, but hey, right space, right type of move, eyeballs on it, relative volume, certainly going to be in play. The difference, I would think, you have been pulling back in the pre-market. I think you got this 110. Look, if you can just hold on to that. All these have to do is if you can hold on to 930 support, then I think you get that chance at a break. And that's when we talk about names that gap up this far, if it starts breaking down well underneath the pre-market support level, I think you just want to sit it out for the first few minutes. And if it's not gonna make that initial break quickly, then you really have to bide your time on the dip buys. That's what the last couple of days have taught. If a stock gapping up or a strong stock starts pulling back at 930, the first 5 minutes isn't always the time to buy it. It either happens right away in a snap action, but once it starts stair-stepping down, you don't want to get out in front of it. And I feel like Cloudflare is firmly in that pocket today, because you could reasonably see 100 as something like you're just pulling back into halfway, pulling back into 100. I'm going to pull up a weekly chart because I think the only way to really look at this one and get a sense of where it could go is to say, okay, 100 psychological makes some sense when you look at the weekly, but there's also room to go on this chart, and it gets like 124, 125 up in this range where I could see this thing headed, and then you get your patented 30% move, which seems like the flavor of the week. I just think you got to be real careful if it doesn't hold that 110. Catching the falling knife, it's all about patience, I do think, and waiting for some higher lows, and this is not one, if it breaks the 110, that I'd be trying to just sit on the bid in the first minute or two.
Disney selling off, says Zach. All right, we'll have a look over there. Just really quickly here, I have Cloudflare on here as a 116 break. I don't want to mess around with this, man. I mean, if it breaks 116, these past few monster moves, see ARM, see Meta, seems to find a base here in and around where we are right now, 112-ish on this name. So we'll just see. If it holds it, it holds it. And that's a break. So we've sat here yesterday. You saw we took $9 on ARM and we took it all short. So we did have FOMO early, but then we wind up doing what we do. So right there's 116. I mean, the high really is that 118. I just want to get it a little bit earlier than that. That's all. So we'll see if we can get a break of 116 here early. And yeah, then we'll see if it can get going. There's still a lot more room to this name, man. Even though we took out 52-week highs very, very easily at $91. You are now, well in the area here to take out this 118 and 116. Like I said, we made more money on ARM at the end of the day than we would have at the beginning, and that was on the short. So we have to be careful with this, but again, a little nervous because I feel like it's too obvious, but we'll see what happens here on this name again. Just looking for a break of 116, and I think it could be a real good one. But I don't have the order in yet because, again, if it breaks it in the pre-market, then I don't want it. I still want it, but I don't want it as a break. We'll play it as a level. So, all right, that's that for Cloudflare.
On the other side of things, a firm downside this morning. I was reading a note from an analyst suggesting this could have been a lot worse, and it was basically the guidance that came up, quote unquote, conservative for firms. Still 7+% downside here. I mean, 40, the obvious level at the bottom end of the range.
Yeah, I'm a little baffled by this one because they beat on the top and bottom line. They also guided above expectations. They're guiding revenue of 530 to 550. The street was looking for 487, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Jeffrey's analyst basically saying that expectations were really going high into this print, and the strong beat and the momentum led us to believe the new guidance is also conservative. So building on what Brendo said, we'll have to see if this is a buying opportunity.
Yeah, it might have been part of the issue that we had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row straight to the upside going into earnings as well. So maybe some profit taking guys for a firm.
Yeah, you were up 10% going into the print just on the day yesterday. So, like, I think if you get this same report when it's chilling out, kind of the 38 to 40 range, like where the bottom of that was. It doesn't have the same kind of reaction, but that's just it matters where the stock is coming from. A reaction is going to be like price reaction is going to be based on price. If a firm was at $18 with that report, it'd be up a ton. And in this case, it was just a run off the lows already, and you tested the top of the range. As Brendan said, 40 is going to be an obvious level. It showed you there on the daily chart. I don't know if we actually even remotely see that, but the 48 level is also a big one. There was one move just in the afternoon above that 48, and that was pretty much it. And now I look for, if you get a press into that 48, I think it can be, obviously you can break a 50 because a firm can do those types of things. But to go green, it's got to get through that 48, and then 49 is actually where it closed. So that's the first line probably the first line in the sand for any kind of pop and fade. And if you see 40 down there, I'd be looking to try to catch an SSR bounce because it would be 10% down if it got there. But at $45, you don't have to. I don't think you have to worry about that at 9:30. It's a 9:30 trade for a 40 bounce. I mean, I'd be really surprised if that were the case. In the back of my mind, in the middle of the day, if it gets down to that price, that's where I'd look for a bounce. It would have to get to somewhere in that 40 range.
So once again, here we are with more shares on Palantir than probably I should tell you about. Okay, NVIDIA right now trying to make a run. So right now, NVIDIA's going. I mean, again, like it looked like it based out right there. And I'll talk about AFRM in a minute. I just want to get to NVIDIA because I want to punch this thing long. I mean, I really, really do. And like, I'm debating just treating this as if it wasn't the pre-market and just going long. I mean, there's enough volume here right now. It's just, I know the real money comes in at 9:30. And I know that we could get flushed immediately and then rip and then take it. So I'm going to bite my tongue and try to be as patient as possible here. Like I said, we're already in Palantir, and that could go. Yeah, I think you're right, Darwin. I mean, SMH is at all-time highs. You could trade the SOXL as well and just play that. But the thing is, I really do think it's stock specific. Intel is whatever Intel is. And then AMD, we already know that play at 172. Look, I put AFRM on the sticky note today, but it was just a note in the top right corner. And it was just saying that, look, if it gets to $50, I'll talk about it. Other than that, I don't really care. It's only down 7%. It's been doing absolutely nothing here in the pre-market. Like, you could say this bumped to 47 and then back down to 46, 44, 45, but that's not that much of a move. I mean, honestly, me and Brendan were sitting here yesterday and AFRM went like this and we're like, oh, it's out. We don't have the numbers. And I'm looking at Brendan, I'm like, wow, we don't have the numbers yet? This is bad. And then it went all the way to the downside. And then I'm like, okay, the numbers must be out, you know, and they still weren't out. And then when they finally came out, they did a little bit of a dance, then it moved back up. And then they just, you know, they're trying to figure out what it wanted to do. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's AFRM. We just want to go down. And then it's like, but wait a second, we have a short float. So maybe we'll go back up. So yeah. For me, this one, too much of a headache. There's way too many great trades out there. We already have a banger, hopefully, on with Palantir. We'll see where that goes. But for right now, AFRM is not even on my radar. I don't even really want to discuss it until it gets, like I just mentioned, up and to the right at $50. So that's what we're doing. There we go. Yeah, what's up, Sailor Moon, in the chat? Yeah, well, I'm disappointed. When we do the market recap show, we're putting on the best show possible. So I don't want to mention if the earnings are out or not, right? All we can do is base it off that. So yeah, I was a little disappointed that it was moving without the numbers, but then we got them and it was a banger movement there for AFRM. So hey, thank you, Trader John. Thank you to everybody for your kind words, man. We just keep on pushing forward here on the show. And, you know, happy to announce as well, we have 52-week high for viewership. So, I mean, the NASDAQ's getting to 52-week highs and all-time highs. We're not at all-time high viewership. I mean, once that, you know, let's let meme craze happen one more time, and then and then we'll be going back there. But yeah, thank you to everybody, man. 52-week high. So if you are a shareholder in Trader TV Live, it's pointing to the right.
It's a great point, and guys, the best way that you can help us, if you haven't done so yet, hit subscribe down below, hit the like as well, and continue to grow this channel. Joby just popping up in front of me here on a volume spike back to 620. Joby Aviation receiving FAA approval for propulsion certification plan. This was that company that had those, they're not personal, but they're air taxis, essentially. Drone-like air taxis, so J-O-B-Y moving around this morning as well. Let's talk about Pinterest here. Downside as well, but holding on to the bottom end of its range also. I mean, this comes down to the competition is heating up here, I think, for ad revenue right across the board. You know, we talked about Snapchat, we talked about Pinterest, kind of in the same group here. These all competing for smaller and smaller share of ad revenue.
Yeah, these personal eVTOLs can't get here fast enough, Brenda, with all the potholes and the great drivers that we have on the streets of Toronto. No, but seriously, Pinterest, interesting look here. They beat on the bottom line, but they missed on the top line. So revenue down, profitability up because of cost-cutting measures. It was down a lot worse until they announced their partnership with Google. They're looking at basically third app integration and basically just ad sales. The same thing that they did with Amazon. They're advertising here with Google. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, it's so true. You and I were talking about that the other day. I mean, I can get home half as amount of time riding a bike than I can driving a car in downtown Toronto. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's every major city, I would say,
most
across the world, pretty much.
I would think so.
It's a fact.
No,
Brandon lives so close. That's amazing. And we, I I don't know. I don't know where all these EVs and all this kind of stuff is going. I mean, we talked about the EV there. I mean, that's pretty interesting. But the bottom line is, if you don't have Foundry and Palantir in your business, then what the hell are you doing? It's a money trade already. And we just tweeted this out. I'm going to show it to you in a minute once I get it out. I made a tweet last night, and I'll show it to you. And it was just about learning and trying to get better and sticking with the plan. Like going long Palantir is the plan. You know, yesterday going short and losing on that was stupid. So right now, here we go. We put the money back in long, and we're probably, we're good. We told you we had more shares than we probably were comfortable with. We just took some out at 15. We just took some out at 18. So here we go for Palantir. Now we're chilling 15 minutes until we open up. We've got Palantir, and we're very, very happy with this trade. So I didn't even look at Pinterest, so I'll pass it over to Neil.
Yeah, I think I said that this wouldn't necessarily be much of a trade on Pinterest, but I can pivot to Snap because we did say do not sleep on day 2, day 3 type plays on earnings this week. It's not just about the shiny new thing. So yes, Pinterest, it wasn't all bad. It was kind of in the middle. Like Snapchat was really, really bad, and Meta was really, really good. And you know, for them, certainly not the growth that you wanted. But really, they beat on most metrics year over year for them. So I guess there's a there. Probably if it gets to 40, a fade for me. But I just look back to Snapchat, which it already made a double bottom yesterday. So when you look for the wipe down, the wipe out bottom, new fresh low, but then a double bottom off of that low. So today would be the put in the higher low phase of any kind of a bounce. And the good thing about it is the top end is like 1230 is the top end on Snapchat. So once it puts in a double bottom, I think you've got room to the 1230. Whether it does it in one day or not doesn't really matter. So off of those lows yesterday, I'd be looking to grab bids on Snapchat. I just like that setup better. Pinterest, not even sure if that's something we've ever really traded much of. Whereas Snapchat, that's certainly a name that tends to do a little bit better for the day trader. But that's just me.
25. Yeah, I am not. People complaining on the chat. Yeah, that I'm long Palantir. I'm long at 25.04.
It's your last.
Yeah.
They have to restart it again. That's all. So basically, what happens when you restart? It's like the next fill that gets taken is covering the long, so therefore a fill to cover some long at 80.
It's amazing with all this AI, we continue to have to battle this every day. But yeah, all right, that's what we're doing. But please ask us in the chat. Obviously, I wouldn't be pumping the long if I was short.
Highest levels here this morning, as we said, for Bitcoin since we got these ETFs to trade. Total inflows as of February 8th. 8.05 billion, 1.83 in net inflows. That's excluding the GBTC outflows. So obviously GBTC existed before. The rest of them came along, so a lot of people choosing to sell this one and buy other ones.
Yeah, it's a great look here, Brendo, as we inch our way closer to that $50,000 mark. With respect to some of these equity names, CleanSpark reported yesterday they're up almost 25% on a better than expected report and good guidance as they continue to grow out their mining operations. Or Brendo, we got to mention Mara as well, up almost 12%, Riot almost up 10.
I was just reading here, open interest increased by 11.5% in the past 24 hours as well. That's a ton. 20.2 billion, according to CoinGlass, guys, for holdings in the ETF.
Yeah.
Wow, what a move! What a move! Like this, if you look at the daily on Bitcoin, by the way, I know it's easy to say the 50,000 mark. Really, above this 48, it's more like 52. This is a weekly chart of Bitcoin.
So long?
Like, it's that fit. Okay, we're getting
Took a
there.
fill on purpose. No, we're not. We're not getting anywhere. We're getting the opposite. It went short again.
No, I said we'll get there.
Oh, we'll get
We'll
there.
We'll get there. But like 52, I think I kind of think that's where we're headed next if you hold the 48, so go from step to step. And if we think we're going up, I do have a stink bid that's not going to hit in Bitcoin. When I sat down, I was like, maybe if it dips, I'll get it on crypto. But I want to be involved in Mara. CleanSpark, it's got the move, but Mara is something that I've actually ever traded before. So I kind of want to stick to that if at all possible. You're in sort of open air here with Mara. You do have a previous, like 22.5 with previous support, but that's so far away. It gets in the middle of the gap. So it would have to be a very patient dip buy. And if that's the case, if Mara does not hold pre-market lows at the open and it can't hang on to 23.5, then just because I like 22.5 does not mean I'm sitting on that bid in the first couple of minutes. We talked about this, and I appreciate the love for the midday lesson. We always learn lessons every single day, and one of those is if you're trying to be patient, then understand I got to be willing to miss the trade to make the trade. And if the dip buy goes to my area and it's still a falling knife and there's no signs of a turn, it doesn't mean you have to sit on the bid, right? Because if you get it after the bounce, you're just getting a little bit better of a setup because you're seeing the arresting of selling, but also some indication that there's buyers coming into the foray and you're not one of the first ones. So that'll be my look. It's either the pre-market low holds, that's usually pretty simple when it does, and then take the steps to the upside, just like yesterday. Come back to my chart, the setup was hold the pre-market low, look for the dip buy, look for the dip buy off VWAP, and then just go for that trend into the upside. And it has started with selling at the open often. So you have to be anticipating that could happen, and it won't just be a clear upward trend.
What's up to Bruce there in the chat? Bruce in the chat goes, Sean, you have a particularly deep voice today. And I said, because I'm channeling my inner Batman today, right? Because, Will Arnett and everything. And then Tony Price kind of just outed me. So thanks, Tony. Like, come to think of it, he's never really seen me and Batman at the same time. So,
I've never seen you and Batman at the same time
Damn it.
either.
Oh, well, cat's out the bag. Shout out Warner Brothers, hit me up. We'll do another movie whenever you want. That the problem was that it was kind of ruined by Ben Affleck, So, all right, let's go. What are we talking about? Crypto. Crypto's
Robert
amazing.
Pattinson wasn't any better.
Yeah, no. Michael Keaton is my guy over there, the original there.
I don't have the bank.
Let's go with that.
I don't have bang.
Catwoman. I mean, wasn't Catwoman Michelle Pfeiffer?
There's been like 5 of them, but she's
Come on.
She's the one.
What are we even talking about? Why are we even dealing with these new generation
She's been Catwoman.
people?
She was married to Tony Montana.
I mean, the Joker.
Come on, son. Anyway.
Jack Nicholson.
Anyways, y'all know.
What the hell have they done with that franchise, man?
DC screws everything up, man. Just don't.
That's why we've got. I'm proud to announce I will be leaving Trader TV Live to pursue Batman. Yo, what's up, Patrick? What's up, man? There's my Robin right there.
Better than Green Lantern.
All right, so just real quick here. Canopy there dropped 7% year over year, so we'll find out about those earnings plays coming through. We are long Palantir. I'm not going to take any more positions on Palantir unless it is going to be a long, so hopefully that will show up there on the board. We've taken some outs up here in 20s and so on and so forth. This is not a crypto play. We've already talked about, we've already talked about Coinbase. At Nimit, I will put a Bitcoin down here, but honestly, I closed a bunch of Chrome tabs because Chrome is insane so on this computer and nobody can figure it out. So I'm trying to close as many tabs as possible. I'll figure out how to put Bitcoin down here. We have it now, so I'll put it down here. So Nimit just got to give me a second to do that. But anyways, I really like Coinbase breaking above this 50 period, but more importantly, it was breaking above this 138. I really thought that we could play that level. So if it does come back in, which it could come in, I think we look at that. So 136 to 138, some kind of a pullback level there for Coinbase. We obviously had CleanSpark as well come through yesterday. Did you talk about CleanSpark? You just want to rate tomorrow.
Well, I went tomorrow because that's what I want to trade.
Yeah, an earnings play up huge again, and honestly looking to break out. Like this $14 level is pretty huge. I think you play the break of the pre-market high right here of 1325. I don't see a reason not to do that. So, wait for it. Obviously, we'll watch Bitcoin. That's the reason not to. I mean, I'm not saying just go long if Bitcoin's tanking. I mean, you got to play the both. I think it's the ultimate pairs trade. You look at Bitcoin as a forward indicator, and then you trade off of these. I think it's relatively simple. I was getting my order set up. We're going to talk about Microsoft next, so that's good. We still have a couple minutes. This just touched 708. See, this is what I'm talking about. We actually broke 708 right there. We just made a new all-time high on NVIDIA as we speak. So we'll go bang for that one, but not bang if you took the long. I mean, it's down $2 now. This is the risk. I said that I was going to be patient with this trade and not take it until we had the open market. So there it is right there. I feel kind of justified finally for once because most of the time I just take these things and then they go against. But we've really gotten better with that. We talked about being patient and that has really paid off there by not taking that NVIDIA break. So I'm still taking it. But it's got to be 930, preferably like 931 or 932 would be really nice on that one. Palantir did dip in, and I did not buy it because I was talking to you guys. So I'm going to put another bid down there in and around 5s and see if we could just get a small little reload there on it. We actually only got out of 20% up here, and that was just because it was at these levels. I'm trying to, I don't have any other offers till 50. So hopefully we can get back up. We're long Palantir as we speak.
All right, I was just double checking here. Microsoft 0.7 on the week, the NASDAQ 0.8 on the week. So pretty good week, positive across the board, as we've been saying for tech. Couple things to note here for OpenAI. Sam Altman wants $7 trillion to make chips. So good luck with that. OpenAI itself, or ChatGPT, has officially surpassed $2 billion in revenue. Also impressive.
Yeah, Sam Altman's serious here. I mean, he's making the rounds. He's talking to the people with the money. He's in the Middle East right now, talking to people in the UAE, Abu Dhabi, etc. He's also seeing SoftBank exec Masayoshi Son. He's also talking U.S. Treasurer or Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. He wants to build out the infrastructure to actually build out these GPUs. Doesn't want to basically rely on the current infrastructure. Really looking to go hard here. I want to see what comes of this.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. $7 trillion to try and raise would be, I was reading this morning, the biggest of basically ever. 417 though coming into play here, guys, at the top end for Microsoft.
You don't have $7 billion? Shoot. We trade in stocks and crypto in 2024. If you ain't got $7 trillion, then you ain't doing it right. Shout out to my man Cheese from The Wire. It wasn't really $7 trillion. He was only talking about you slinging coke and dope in Baltimore. She. Look, I actually like Microsoft today. We've been ignoring big cap tech names, well, a little bit. Just a Petetra this week. And it's because there's been so much else moving. The wicks on this chart are annoying, but if you look at the last couple of days, 415 double top, and then the daily chart here, you got the 417, which it's about to take out. So that's two numbers. It's 415, it's 417 on Softy. You dip into previous highs, look for the long off 415. If you can break it out at the open, it was end change, that 17 level. I think you got some room to rally. And this is, you know, Softy's been, I don't want to say been forgotten, but there's been a lot of things moving a heck of a lot more than them this week. But I want to have a look-see at that 415 if we get any kind of a dip. It's Friday, so remember, on a Friday, you get some gravity toward these prices like 415 and 420, which is why I might expect some kind of a test of that level right here at the open. 3 minutes to go. Do we look at the imbalances yet?
No, but honestly, guys, I'm just as frustrated as you guys are with the position board. So we'll just reset it, and hopefully it gets going here after I take a fill on another stock other than Palantir, because people in the chat are like, I thought this guy was talking long Palantir. I am long Palantir. I'm long Palantir right here. So right here at 25. I'm trying to play off of this 2480. So I already have a stop in there if we break that. So if we break, yeah, let's go. If we break that, I am offering again up here at 18. So it might say I get short again, but whatever. It will fix it up. You guys know I'm long PLTR, okay? So we'll see if we can get that fixed. And if not, once the market opens, I'm certain it will fix. All right, so here's 416. I like Microsoft. It's on the sticky note level here as 415. But look at this market. I do not have any bids. I don't have any bids. I'm only long Palantir. I put no bids anywhere else because, like, Microsoft just dropped $2 right there. Like, on what? Like, I know the market's heading down, but $2? Like, the thing is, these stocks are so expensive now that it's like a little tick in the NASDAQ, and Apple probably the same way, man, probably falling to the downside. All these names don't have much bid out there when the NASDAQ falls because people are very, very cautious right now on some of these levels. Apple actually not doing it. So maybe it's Microsoft specific here, as that's definitely starting to head to the downside. Let me check on another name that I kind of wanted at that 144 area. Now it's gone. I bought Microsoft yesterday on a market on open order in my own account. It's not, I just want to buy more. I think it's the biggest lagger there of the Mag 6. I'm not going to include Tesla because that's the biggest lagger. So, you know, I think Google has a good report here. I'm starting to test out Gemini as well. We talked about that here on the show yesterday. We'll talk about it on the pod tonight. But again, excited for Google, and I think they're getting beat up a little bit here because of the threat of AI. you know, taking away some of their business from search. You know, like I saw Neil yesterday use ChatGPT off Edge there, off Bing or whatever. And instead of, before we would just open up Chrome and search like, you know, who is the second best team in the NFL besides Green Bay? And then Google would tell you probably maybe the Buffalo Bills. You know, but now you just open it up and there's no monetization at all for Google anymore because even myself, even if I use Chat or even Gemini, I feel like they haven't displayed 30 seconds, that they haven't displayed their monetary plan yet.
And that's what they're getting punched.
So
but I think they figure it out. And I think you can buy dips. I think you can buy dips.
We still got to watch Bitcoin here.
With 15 seconds to go, it's Friday. There's plenty of volatility out there. Eyes on, Mara for me at the open. Whoa, that didn't work. My countdown button didn't work. So in 4, 3, 2, and 1, ring it.
So Stream Deck is also down, but I'm sure that's on purpose. So because we're trying to figure everything out here. So all right, well there it goes. It shows me short Palantir, but as you guys know, I wish I was because Palantir's cranking down right now and cranking down pretty aggressively right now. Oh yes, it's long now, but I'm about to get out. So I'm still long, but we did get flushed out a little bit there, so looks like it is fixed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that one. We knew that there would be some possible fixes there coming once the market opens. So, all right, we took some, like I said, we're trying to be as patient as we are.
Mara's starting to fall.
Starting to fall.
Neil.
Okay, good. Yeah, be patient with all of this.
Not stand in front of the falling knife.
If you can avoid that, that's a good idea.
Woosah, all that good stuff. You know what I'd be doing? I'd already be trying to just sit here on the bid. But I want to be certain that we're getting a bit of a curl here. I'm willing to miss the trade to make the trade. Cloudflare just tested that 110 level and held it. So it held the 110. I want to see 110 hold and go for the break.
All right. The market here
that already happened.
Could be strong, could be weak. We got to look over that Cloudflare as well because I like that 16 level. They're 116, of course. All right. Well, we took a bid back down to VWAP here. If Nvidia breaks 703, then your boy is out of this one. So there's no doubt about that one. So we'll put an offer in there to get out if we do break down below that 703. We'll get out at 75% of this position if we break lower, which it looks like it's trying to do right now. So we'll be wrong, apparently, I guess, on NVIDIA, and then just wait to see what happens down there at 703. All right, so wrong to get out of Palantir down there, right to buy back in, and it just goes to that whole story about being a little bit more patient and waiting for the move. So we got out at 80. Looks like it wants to take it.
Yeah, about that patience.
Yeah, it looks like it wants to take it again here, back down near 80 on Palantir. So yeah, here we go. Yesterday, I was like, lesson learned. We'll go long today, and that's wrong again there on Palantir as it's giving some back here.
The good news is I was patient in Mara. The bad news is I was patient in Cloudflare and didn't get it. So Cloudflare, this is it holding 110. I went for the break of the next dollar, and I didn't get my order in fast enough because, you know, I'm a human being and not a robot. But it is looking like this wants to make a break. It didn't break your 116. Maybe we can look for a dip buy here on Cloudflare. I got into Snap off of 11, but I want to get into Cloudflare if it can start to hold a bit above that opening range breakout price. I'm just going to get a bid in there. So I'm locked and loaded.
Yep.
But Mara's now at 2370. Wow, that's going right back into the upside on Mara. Let's see if we can punch through that 24 level. I want higher lows to be able to add, and let's see if this can continue to fly. The market actually still coming to the downside.
We're $2 in the money right now on NVIDIA as well. So $2 in the money on NVIDIA. Let's go see what Adara's up to.
Yeah, this acquisition name to keep an eye on here with a strong volume. DOOR is the ticker. Masonite is the name of the company. This is basically an acquisition move. Owens Corning agreeing to acquire all outstanding shares of Masonite for $133 per share in cash. So up 35% on DOOR, guys.
Okay. All right. So we're doing fine. We're doing real fine. But I'm a little bit hesitant. I have no problems here with NVIDIA. We only got out at 20%. I'm going to wait at 707. If we can get that fill, then fine. We'll wait for NVIDIA to do something up there. The most nervous hands right now is Palantir. So we've already lost on that move down. We still do have a good, there it is. There's the break of 80, man. We took it against ourselves there in 80 and broke it down, and then that's not good. But then we bought it right back on that same candle. So these were the longs, and then there's the flush. So we lost about 30 cents or so. It doesn't look like it wants to give us 30 cents back, man. The most we got there was 25s. We got like 98s, 97s. I mean, they're all right here. We didn't even start getting out until 96. So it looks like it wants to take it again. We'll have to be patient with it. So some of these longs seem to be exhausting right now, needless to say. And it looks like it might be with NVIDIA. So only out 20% there. Will be a loser. Will be, right, if we take down 703. So here it comes out. Well, we will get punched out if and when that happens, as long as these order triggers. But right now it does look like NVIDIA is a little weaker than I expected, for sure. Still up 1%, but I was looking at that 708 break. And so to be long down here at 705, I like it, but it's definitely a slippery slope as we head to the downside for NVIDIA.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the fail. I probably keystroked out of that one, but that's going to suck. We'll look for the stair step to the upside on Mara. I just got out at 23.80. I was looking for a consolidation add and hit the wrong one, and it happens. So I'll slap the fail on myself. I'm on the wrong page to do it. We'll do that. Rivian also made its bounce, as you can see. If it's going to take the stairs up, then I need to find, again, a consolidation. We like to dip by it, but if you saw my morning mix, I was like 16.25. That's where I'd start looking for the long. It's not like Mara, which got down to the price I wanted to buy it at. This one didn't get there, so I'll look for the higher low to play. I am in Snapchat, as you're going to see here, bouncing off that 11 level. Added on the way up. I wanted a 5 average price at this low, which is right underneath that 11 level. And I didn't get everything on the first dip. So my average price is 5 on Snap. Giving it to the local bottom. Remember, if it breaks a low, well, I can't really say a rhyme for that one, but if it breaks a low, I'm out when catching this little bit of bounce. No, I didn't like. I was like, yeah, well, if it doesn't break the low, there's nowhere else to go. Is my line that I like, but there is no rhyme for if it does break the low, you just get out.
Right. Breaks the.
I can't get cute with
breaks
that.
the low. GTFO.
You guys.
You know, there we go. I mean,
see,
it's just all about content. Okay, there we go.
That was loud.
Yeah. So, all right. So NVIDIA does get us the FO because you could see right here it broke. So there we go, man. We took it, and break. So we're still holding on to a piece of this in case we get back up to the upside, but it did break that 103, and we actually got a 703, and it goes down to 702. So let's hold out to see if that one will continue to be somewhat spicy. Affirm what?
50.
What? Okay.
50,
well, now
50.
That might have been a little bit over dramatic there, but I'm just have to deal with this Microsoft because we're long Microsoft. It's a new position here against that 415. Palantir, Microsoft, NVIDIA, now apparently Affirm.
Yeah, Affirm just tagged 49.99, and there was size on the offer. I didn't see how much. I don't know, like 40, 50,000 shares, which considering the book, usually, that is a decent amount. Let's see if it actually wants to go. It's pulling back right now. Remember 48? 48 was that key price level on the daily. If it dips, I'd look for the 48 to try to hold. If Snap breaks 10s, I'm going to start getting out in the teens. But eyeballs now on Affirm because, I mean, if I didn't think Affirm was going to 50 that fast, I thought we'd like hang out in the range, dipsy-do, and all that good stuff. So I'll look for the 48 level to pull back in here. And while we're being patient with that, Mara has indeed come, right back down. Right back down to that same low on Mara. If it can bounce again at 23, then we will engage, as our good friend Jean-Luc Picard would always say.
Yeah, he's a decent friend. Okay, so there goes Palantir. Look, man, we just got at 25. Can you believe this? We got 25.04 there at the 50 period before hitting it, and then Tank City. So, okay, not as bad as it might look here because we have that out and that out. But again, a lot of reloads there on Palantir. And let's just, again, learn from yesterday and try to stay away until we let Palantir settle down just a bit right now. Okay, so newest position, really, I mean, NVIDIA against this bottom there. That's I put the wrong price. That's 701.60 for that bottom of NVIDIA. I mean, the market's coming in. We took 17.9. I kind of think that this could be a little temporary here. So I'm actually going to cancel this stop order on NVIDIA and see if we can really blow up now. 17.9, see if we can retrace back up. That should get NVIDIA going, you know, should get it going. We are playing off that 700 at this point. So I feel like that's what we're doing. We're just going to have to hold it and see if it works. I don't have a whole bunch of shares. We actually got out of the more aggressive position already, but we did buy it back for a little bit. We'll hold it. We'll hold it. We have about the right amount of shares, I feel like, to be able to do this. So right now, we're going to wait for NVIDIA, and then we'll find out after that. But Palantir, again, just kind of dancing. We're going to leave that one alone. And I'm going to go over to some other sticky note names in a second. I tried to get a firm, but missed it.
Yeah, new position for me is going to be Rivian. We missed the dip buy. Remember, we didn't get to our price, but it came right back in. Higher low, dipped off 56 is where it happened to bounce. I took the 60 level on the way back to the upside. If it can hold on to 50, great. If it can't, then we just got to get out of that one. So Rivian's starting to pull back in. Mara, I got the dip buy as well the second time through. I was able to get some out. I got 35s out 57. And then just got another higher low here, which I'm just gonna move my stop, because if it doesn't hold the higher low, I want to get out and then reassess. Like, it's been a couple of good dip buys. The first one the best, the second one okay, the third one hasn't even given me any profit yet here on Mara. So again, in and out. It'll be a relatively tight stop here, but look at the way this is coming down. Do not want to turn it a good name red. Snapchat is still, I mean, it's hanging out off the 11 level. I think it's calmed down here. If it comes down and holds a higher low again, maybe I should be adding to this one to be sure. So I got out of Mara just now. Is that going to update?
My longs are both.
I got out of Mara right here. So I'm long Rivian and Snapchat. I guess it'll update in a second. Maybe it takes a second.
Long Rivian, eh? Okay, I know Rivian was getting exciting up there.
It was, but now it needs to hold the higher low. It's starting to come back down. It needs to hold this higher low. If it can do it, great. I want to offer up in those tops. I think we got to be a little bit patient with it. Meta's breaking down apparently. I didn't really have Meta on my radar for the big cap tech name. It was Microsoft at 415, which it bounced off 415 4 times, and yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft 415 is as it was written today on the sticky note as well, and we actually have it, so we're pretty happy with that right now. We're only long at 416, but we're waiting for that, so that's on the radar. The stupidest move of all was like literally me hearing Neil mention a firm was not at $50 and just marketing short. I literally tried that, but the spread was too big. I offered 62s, believe it or not, and it just kept on going down by the time I got there. So honestly, I'm pretty upset because we wrote down here a firm at 50, and that's where we were going to look at it, and we didn't even get a chance to go over there. So thank you to everybody in the chat for that. We'll look at it again, but we did take $2 again. So look. $1 the first time, $2 the second time. We just got out at 705 a piece there off of what we're long. Well, I guess it was $1.70. All right, A, what's up?
Yeah, not a ton of volume on this name right now, but it is increasing. For First Energy, FE, watch out for this name, up almost 4%. Really strong earnings, beating on both EPS and sales here for FE, guys.
Definitely a good look. We're going to ring Reggie on this one and power it up for Snapchat. I was just saying I wanted to add here, and then it didn't give you a chance at 11s again. Just got some 14s, some out at 21s. We'll look for the high of the day break here, which would be 1131. Take one more out in front and then try to hold for the break. If it goes false break, then I can buy the dip on it as well. Rivian, the other thing that we are long, firm's back at 49. Okay, firm's getting close to 50 again. It just held the higher low, so jump in on that wick up. If it punches through VWAP, try to take some out here on Rivian. I'm gonna go back over to Mara, which is the third one. Okay, that bounces off 23. Let's be, like, if we're being patient with it, let's see it try to hold. Let me just double check Bitcoin. Bitcoin's making a bit of a lower high. Am I talking myself out of it because Bitcoin's, I'm overanalyzing that. 23 is holding. I did that yesterday. Yesterday, I didn't take a position or get on the bid of Mara again because of something I saw in BTC. It's like stick to the plan, which I guess I wasn't nearly aggressive enough there, but that's fine. Now, I'm going to wait for that 23. Rivian makes a bounce, just got some over VWAP, so that's continuing to go to the upside. pitchers and catchers report soon. And hopefully Rivian can also be in the best shape of its life, like Vladimir Guerrero is every single offseason.
Yeah. And then
Until the buffet hits.
Yeah, and then he
That's a mean thing to say,
underproduces.
He's hitting 38 bombs, 124 ribbies, and 308 average.
Let's hope so. Then we won't have to pay him that much. Okay, here we go. Microsoft, Microsoft now 40 cents in the money and trying to go. So let's see if he can do that, man, or if Vladdy can do that for sure, it would be nice. But let's see if Microsoft can continue to hit some home runs here to the upside as well, as this is another name that we really, really like. All right, so it's $1 in the money on NVIDIA, but we don't have any plans of getting out of this one. I literally have no offers. So I'm going to put one up here at 708 right now, just to get that target, right? I mean, if it comes in, then I think we should definitely hit that. So we will do that on the upside. Ooh, there, I got to sort my order log. Okay, so that's that. So right now we're at $1.20 here. Let's just get this some excitement going. $1.20 in the money right now on NVIDIA and 60 cents in the money. Palantir's all the way back up, by the way. So again, trying to be patient down there at 24.50. I feel like that's where we were last night. Yes, that was. So again, you see, like if you're looking at Palantir today, you probably take it as I did. Because I didn't wind up losing that much, and I'm really, really confident in taking stuff against the 200 period, but it just broke. So there's the level. It came into play, but you know what, man? It's a stink face because NVIDIA right now is $2.50 in the money, and Microsoft is 70 cents in the money. We'll go 2 for 3 today and be green about it, so all good. There's Microsoft right there with the monster out as well. Yeah, let's just keep on going to the upside here, and let's hope that it's led by NVIDIA because we just touched 706 there. We need to get a little bit higher, man. I'm waiting for, you know what, I'm still waiting at 707.70. So let's see if we get $2 more in this name, and then we'll start screaming to the upside. Hey, man, we're here to trade and take some risks, and I think like NVIDIA today makes a lot of sense. It's too bad that we ignored that level there on. We didn't ignore it on Palantir, but I wasn't looking at it. So that's a missed opportunity. You mentioned AFRM near 50?
I'm back in. It is back at AFRM is close to that 50 level. I'm back in tomorrow.
Oh, good.
We'll get in that 23 level one more time. But I did get the fill on Snapchat right in front of the pre-market high. We're long at 8s. Our first buy was at 3, but remember I added on the way up. So my average price was 5s, but it does like that first in, first out. But my average price was 5s. And that's what actually matters. So we get about 20 cents on that trade. If it breaks the high, I want to look to hold. I want to see if we can buy the dip. Maybe VWAP's going to be the higher low on Snapchat. So I preferred this to trading Pinterest. I'm not going to look at Pinterest because we said we wanted Snapchat today. So if you're watching Pinterest, we'll look at it at some point. Mara off the 23 level once again, just got some out at 30s on an 11 long. It's lower highs on Mara, unfortunately, and Bitcoin is continuing a little bit of a curl. If it can't hold on to 47, you know what? I'm actually bidding 46.4 on actual BTC. That could actually come into play. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
ARM trying to make a bit of a recovery here, down about 5% still, but this nice movement up from open. This one actually getting an price target increase from Citigroup from 86 to 115 following those strong earnings and fantastic performance for the stock yesterday. So ARM looking to curl back up here, guys.
Yeah, so NVIDIA is now $1, $2, $3 in the money on NVIDIA again here today. So that's going to be a good trade, it looks like so far. Let's see if we're now up to 707. So now we're 350 in the money on NVIDIA. And here we go again. Wow, getting back into this name is paying dividends. Oh, and by the way, we just took 40 cents on AFRM as we went short. Actually, sorry, my bid was at 40s, 76 is 40s, 30 cents on AFRM right there. We're gonna wait now. We took a very small position. We're waiting for it to get back up to 50, but it is the barn burner of the day right now, and it's going to be another $4 winner for me anyways on this lane. We'll see if we got to get out first. I mean, counting your chickens before you hatch, that's always a problem. So let's put it out here at 70. I was at 707.70. We just touched high at 707. There we go, and a quarter, so we'll take it out right there. There it is, man. That's it for you guys out there. We talked about being strong. We talked about waiting for your trades. That's it, man. That's the NVIDIA trade right there, man. It's $4 in the money. And then we took out Microsoft on the upside as well. We only have half of this left, up at 417. So all is well over here in Katina land. AFRM is going back up to the upside, so we're going to have to wait for 50 again on that one. Micro float on INBS, says Tisha Perkins.
Yeah. Moderna either, but Moderna is... It's dying right now. I gotta get to what we're gonna trade, but I'll get an eye on Moderna, and if we get the story, I can't imagine there isn't news there. So a firm is trying to get to that 50 level. It is 49.99. There was significant size there. When I got to it, it had already pulled back. Like, it was far enough away from the 50 when I pulled up to level 2 that I just barely even saw the size, and it was down like 50 cents. But Mara, the last move we got 20 cents on. The first move you got like 70 cents. So you're getting lower highs all the way through. I will not reload this again. Do not want to throw good money at bad. Rivian making another play at a higher low. So the last entry, we got this nice dip here at 47s. I want to hold on to this at the 45 level. It looks like it's doing that dance, but again, lower highs. So you got to be patient. I do not like going a third time if it's lower highs. And Tesla, the other thing about Rivian, Tesla's flying, right? So I would be expecting Rivian should be blasting. And if it can't do that when Tesla's up, then I got to be careful when Tesla pulls back. And Tesla 191 in the review. I think we should be buying dips on this name. It came out of nowhere. Adara.
So I do have some information on Moderna. Not sure if this was moving the stock, but certainly something of note here. Moderna and Bayer are backing this company, Metagenomi, which is supposed to IPO, but it's actually set to IPO on the much lower range of what's expected. So its current valuation of $563 million would be on the lower end, so about $15 per share. The $17 per share valuation would be much higher. So basically, the long and short of this is this company backed by Moderna for its IPO, probably going to be valued a little bit lower than expected here, guys. If I see anything else, I will let you know.
Right.
No, it's a great story because that compresses valuations in the space. In addition to just the fact that Moderna has a stake, right? So that's not necessarily the best for them. Support level Moderna 83 to 85. You know, pull out the daily chart. That's like $5 away. The low end of that is $5 away. Just to put that into a little bit of perspective. Back to what we're actually trading. Hey, stock's moving. That's what we're here for. Whether we're going to trade it or not, I'll go over it. We'll talk about it. We'll find the news for you and then give you any analysis. That's why we're here every day. That's why we're here early. But I'm going to get out of the one name that isn't breaking and isn't in the money long. Mara does not hold on the low. Today, we're patient with it. So even though it goes downtrend, we're able to get some profit out of it. Snapchat, just to go back over to Snapchat. Snap's still holding the higher low, so it's given a couple of percentage points already. If it can take out the high, I think there's a lot of room for this to continue a potential rally. And I haven't traded this yet, but the PLTR holds that bottom the first time. If it can do the pattern I like, which is put in a higher low, Palantir that is, if it can put in a higher low now, I would look for the dip buy. I want to see a higher low, not a lower low. Higher lows mean it's finding support, at least to me.
So we just went almost $6 there on NVIDIA. NVIDIA just went through 708, went to almost 709 right there, 708.63. So again, man, I just hope that everyone is watching and enjoying the show, because if you did pay attention earlier, we did talk about NVIDIA taking that long over here on our sticky note, but could die out a little bit right here. We are still 70 cents. Well, we just were 70 cents in the money. We faded again off 417. All right, I'm going to take another piece here at 417 just because I think it's prudent, but then I want to hold the rest. I have no more bids or no more offers if we can get this out right now. We're at 416.85, so that would be real nice. And by the way, so in case you think this is like a fluke if you're joining for the first time, NVIDIA's $4 in the money, Microsoft 70 cents, and AFRM is another one. There's another dollar club for you on AFRM. I mean, this one should be $3 in the money, but that's my bad because we just wrote down 50 and then ignored it because we weren't on the stock. But as soon as Neil said we're getting close enough, I said 48.75, good enough for me. So there it is right now, a nice little pullback into that level. Now you're at the 50-period moving average. Let's see if AFRM gives it up now. Possible, and we'll see. If it does, good, and that's that. So we'll wait to see what happens now with AFRM possibly moving back down to the downside right there. So again, just a sticky note review, Microsoft long 415, That's only $1.50 in the money. We're gonna look at Disney. Cloudflare, again, was another good name. And by the way, we just got into Disney now. Let's take a dime right there. So there it is right there. We'll take another win on this. We're gonna be 3 for 4 today. 4 for 5 today. But there goes Disney. Let's go Disney. Can we get Disney back up into the 20s? And then we'll take another piece out. Yeah, it's a good one, and it's Adara right now. What's up?
Keep an eye on C3AI here. Just got a nice spike here on volume. Not seeing any news on this, but it is apparently trending right now on Wall Street Bets, and this one does have a short float of about 38%. So be cognizant here. C3AI, the ticker for this one, guys.
They don't report till like March or something ridiculous. But my eyes are on Palantir trying to put in a higher low. Buyers just came in there at 60s. So engage, as Jean-Luc Picard. I still have to watch the newest Star Trek. But a higher low, that's what we're looking for. This is 24.58 where it happened to turn. I just grabbed 63s in there.
Happened.
If it can hold on to the 50 level, we're all good. I don't know if I want to get back into Mara yet, but that is a pretty big hammer bottom on Mara. So if you're being patient, that's generally kind of like if you want to look for longs, like on the other side of that, looks pretty good. So if it can consolidate off this 75, 22.50 was the absolute bottom there. Just got to respect the fact that you are going in the other direction here. The higher lows in for Rivian at 16.5 again, but Palantir was a new position for me. What did I say for AI? AI is apparently on the 28th of February. I thought they were in March, but the end of the month is still a ways away. You got a few weeks for that C3AI. So new position alert, waited for a higher low on Palantir, just got it. We're in, we'll get some out in front of VWAP, and then just see how far this bad boy can go. I do want to get over to Tesla at some point as well, because Tesla looks like the EV name that you want long. I mean, I guess it always is.
NVIDIA's 550 in the money. Just touched again 709. Wow. We have the bottom here. It's too bad that we got clocked out of a little bit of a bigger position. But yeah, about that. What about Disney, they say? I mean, we bought the bottom. That's exactly the kind of move that we're looking for there today. Wow, we are at our highest spot today, like not even close. Here goes Microsoft right now. Hey man, not everyone's gonna be green every day. We talked about that yesterday, but today your boy is. And we came back from that. And I actually, we talked about this earlier, and you know, hopefully you guys are following me. And then last night after the, again, you know, after the rundown show, and thank you so much for watching that show. But here we go. Lessons learned, charts reviewed. Today's trading served as a stark reminder of the importance of risk management and emotional control. We started to get, like with Palantir yesterday, we talked about that, like frustrated that we dumped the long at the bottom basically. So then we were shorting it up against 25. And then when that broke, we had to get out. And I was just like, I know Palantir is a long, but yet I fight the short because we get a little heated with this Italian blood, right? But again, discipline is the key. Back to the process, adjustments, on to the next damn opportunity. So right there, man, if you're not down with that, then you know, you need to be, because honestly, that's what it's all about. You look in the mirror and you say, yep, you're still him, and that's what you do. So there goes Microsoft. Again, another win. We're at a monster spot right now, like monstrous. Look what we have on board. $2 in the money on AFRM. 50 cents in the money off the bottom of Disney, and that's still going up. We've got 70 cents off the, not the bottom, but we should have had the bottom, on Microsoft, and we got 5.5 right now on NVIDIA. We're holding 4 positions, and they're all monsters. The only one that we lost on was Palantir, and honestly, that's fine. Like, let's go. It's a big trading day here. Thank you for watching, and guess what just went $1 in the money as well? It's right there. It's softy again. So, I mean, yeah, obviously we're feeling it. Let's see if AFRM can get down to the bottom. Disney's ripping up. And yeah, today, a day that ends in Y, and a day that we're pretty confident in these trades.
Goodness, it doesn't end in Y, and we're in a world of hurt. But every day is a good day so long as you get something out of the markets. I'll tell you right now, whether you learn a lesson, make money, you've got to be putting in that work. That's what it's all about. This is the same, we were talking about it in the midday as well, that as long as even if you take a hit, as long as you learn something from it, the market's going to pay you back for that knowledge. Palantir, just a quick update on Palantir, because I got my first in just now. It tried to bust VWAP just there, and that 2480, someone jumped in there selling. So I'm going to take a leg on the other side of VWAP, which is on the south side this time, and look to see if there's a rinse and repeat trade. But if it cannot hold the higher low, we got to jump out of that one. Palantir is still a bit of a falling knife. Rivian did give us the bid, so we've been able to stay in the pocket. Rivian putting in higher lows, but 1665 we just got out, so we'll take about 20 cents on that one. It's giving you the entirety of the range on Rivian is about 2.5% there. So you look at these 1%, it's lower high, so 1% is about what you're going to be able to get. So we'll ring the register and not look gift horses in the mouth. That's 1 and 2. Snapchat, basically been in the same names, and then Mara. Snapchat's trying to put in a higher low. I think if I'm going to be patient here, it's still deciding what it wants to do. I don't know that this is enough strength. I want to see it bounce higher, break a high, and then give me an entry. Still looking for that high break, but all three longs are in the money right now. Volcan, Palo Alto, views on that one. Thank you for the super chat. My views on PanW are I love it. I haven't even looked at the chart. I'm going to hope that it's at the high of the day after I said that, but I love cybersecurity. It was, when I was on the podcast, it was my mention this year. Cybersecurity names. I said this in CrowdStrike. You can throw Zscaler in there as well. Fortinet just had, I think Fortinet gave some of it back, but it had a big move on earnings. These are the big two. And again, to the upside on PanW. I want to mention this, even though I haven't traded it. ARM did one heck of a liquidity grab to the downside. That can be pretty bullish when you make that kind of a move down. Should be looking at some higher lows in ARM if it can continue to hold on. But I'm going to stick to what has been working, which have been the patient dip buys we've been talking about all week.
Yeah, join Brendo and I tomorrow. We'll join everybody tomorrow as we release the podcast tomorrow morning. And Brendo and I will be there. We're going to be working on some guests, so that would be nice to have that back through again. By the way, right now, I just, like, props. I mean, does anybody noticing what Microsoft is doing right now? That's another $1 and a $2 winner right there for Microsoft. $5 in the money on NVIDIA, deuces in Microsoft, 3-pack in Affirm right now. I'm gonna go get a coffee. All right, over to the desk with Adara.
SPY positive on the day, looking to continue that strong rally we had yesterday with new all-time highs for the SPY and the Dow. No economic news on watch today. We do have a Fed speak at 1:30, so just keep an eye on that. But other than that, not really any news going on. Really, the market continuing to be run here by earnings reports. We have Affirm definitely on watch here. ARM day 2. We have Cloudflare, but here are some other reports and some other names to keep an eye on today, including Pepsi beating EPS and then missing sales. Also some weaker estimates here with regards to lower demand because of the higher prices. That's going to be a concern for Pepsi, as noted by their report. Trying to curl up a little bit here, still down about 3.5%. We also have Expedia down 19%. They did have a sales beat, but they also have a new CEO and some other concerns there as well with regards to the next quarter. So just keep an eye on Expedia here. Last but not least, Pinterest, PINS here. Pretty mixed earnings report overall. Market reacting right now to the downside 10%, guys.
Yeah, Pinterest is worth watching. I think, I said I wanted Snapchat instead. As a trader, you've got to pick your poison. Today, the poison wasn't Intel, but it did exactly what we usually do with it, which is short pops into 43, and it gave you exactly that at the open. The story now is a press back into that high. Look, I still like this thing short in that range. If we get back up there again, I probably take it. But I want to be patient. It's already on the backside of it. So shout out to everyone in the chat that mentioned that one to us. We did like it. Expedia, Franz, at some point I'm going to get to Expedia because I had some comments that I wanted to make about them and Airbnb. But new position. Actually, no, sorry, not a new position. I am now out of Palantir. Said I did not want to reload. It could not hold VWAP. Let's see if it can hold on local bottom. I'm getting out, looking for another trade, just keeping the profit, don't turn red on it, don't fight it, don't turn it into a mess. All of that good stuff is what it's all about. So that's the lesson that was learned here. And was a sort of a similar patient approach on Rivian. Maybe I missed out on a dip buy. That's fine. It's definitely giving you that nice stair-step pattern into the upside that we can hang on to, especially when I see Tesla starting to break out toward its top. Like, look at Tesla. If Tesla continues this charge, gets to 195, and Rivian can take the top, there's going to be places to add to this name almost 100%. I did want to mention that Expedia, because it wasn't necessarily like the worst report in the world when you're just sort of reading the tea leaves and all that stuff. That said, it doesn't matter what you think when you read an article or the report. It matters what the market does. This is down 20%, so it's short sell restricted. It is a potential SSR play. The big levels, I should say, right here at about 123, 125, that would be the first place I would look for any kind of an SSR bounce. And then the 200 period if something disastrous happens. Let's go back to the desk at Adara.
Anyone looking for small caps? This INBS is moving right now. Intelligent Biosolutions just got a really nice pop to the upside here, releasing their Q2 and 6-month sales results, seeing pretty big increase here year over year in sales. Couple things to note with this one: they did do a reverse split January 25th. The float on this is going to be 1.4 million shares. INBS, guys.
And also, Patrick, please read what the sticky note says on Microsoft at 4:15, please. We're just playing around with Patrick here because I told him. Okay, now go look at the chart. Yeah. All right, so he's going to go look at the chart now, Microsoft. Okay, so by the way, we just took out some more Disney right there. Yeah, but look what the bottom is. So right now, we're long at 416 right now on Softy, but look at that out that we just got. Can you guys believe that when we went over to a 417.85 right there for Softy? The market has pulled back a little bit. So those of you that took this short here at 709, I'm going to actually put an offer right there now. Excuse me. I was at 709 flat to get out. So I was just like, let's put it at 709 flat. Seems to have been a little bit of a miss there. So we'll go to 708. What is this top? I mean, I want to get a little bit greedy, to be honest with you. Let's go to 708.60. And we'll see if we get that fill. Okay? Because it's like we're trying to be greedy. We're trying to hold on to things because so many times we see the trade and then we just get out early. And it's like, what's the point of that, right? And I'm actually learning from a lot of the traders behind me as well. These guys over here just continue to crush it. And it's, you can ask us if we're green or red. Some may tell you, some may not. But we are green there today. And it doesn't matter. It's because of yesterday we were talking about that we had a red day. So we went back, we just took a little break. We went and got a coffee because I felt like I would get out of everything if I just sat here, because that's what we've been doing. But it looks like we did a good move getting out of Microsoft. AFRM is just like, I said to Wayne back there, like, I can't believe I missed that 50. And it's just like, yeah, that sucks, because this was the biggest trade opportunity. And the reason why this is the easiest trade of the day is because it didn't even think about breaking. Like, it went to 49.99, but you didn't have to hold it. Like, if you just went short and you put your stop north of 50, then you're still in this trade, and it's a 450 winner. It's a good thing we took this here, but if we do break back above 46, we ain't going to be stubborn about this trade, guys. So we are going to get out of this. So I just want to tell everybody that 46, let's give it change, 46.16. Okay, we're going to get out of everything that we have on a 46.16 break there. Okay, so that's that. We'll wait for that, all right? Microsoft back up. We are getting closer. Come on, NVIDIA. Let's print 5. We're already in the money, 450, 470. We got to get the amount of dollar you take on this doesn't matter. I'm trying to play technicals right now, right? We had the Wednesday wisdom, which is that if you're going to sit here and pretend to trade, you might as well use levels that, you're working off of. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sitting here and YOLOing things and holding them forever is a great strategy on a piece of what you have. But you can't trade bigger shares and not have risk management. So that's what it's all about with these kind of trades. It's like, that's why we got out here at the bottom. For NVIDIA to be the #1 P&L name, and it was the #1 P&L loser, that's what happens. Like, if this keeps going down, Neil, we both mention this all the time. It's like you just don't want to lose everything on 1 or 2 ideas. So if this continues to make that move down, then it's like, okay, what are we doing? Well, I know what we're doing. We're taking 550. right there. As there's that offer that we said we'd take, 708.60. We just took it. Now it's starting to rip up to the upside. It's $6 in the money on this one. Plus we have the AFRM lookout right here to get out of that if it breaks above 46. Plus Microsoft's in the money $1.07. Plus Disney's in the money 70 cents and just bounced off of its high right there as well on VWAP. So obviously its high is when we opened, but it's high of basically the open market. I mean, we kind of fell down. I guess you could have got a little bounce there. But anyways, we're at the highest spot we've been at all day again today. Hopefully I can say that at 4 o'clock when it's most important. So right now we're cruising. Obviously we've got this, man. We talked about 708 clean break on NVIDIA. So whether or not you had that or you had these dip buys, you're rocking right now. It's NVIDIA to the moon. It's AFRM to the grave. It's Disney going upside and it's Microsoft upside as well. And possibly an AMD
And the
short.
market.
And the market, yeah.
Fresh highs on the NASDAQ. That's the other thing. So you want to be favoring longs, but I still kind of want to short up top. I had 72s on AMD, so I might wait an extra bit, but I also want to get Intel. I don't know what's going on with AMC here. Apologies for the caps in the chat. I meant to put the symbol in all caps and not what's up with it. But AMC is on a bit of a tear. Without knowing what's going on, I'm not going to touch it. But what I do want to do is if you're managing your position, you want to make sure that you're ready to take some profit. So now this is looking stronger. This is what I wanted to see on Snapchat. Like you hold that low, now you got the buying above VWAP. I want to see this get right back into the high. If it fails 1130, you know what? Let's just get an offer out there. I should just be sitting there anyways. And then Mara is the other name. We want to be patient with it. It's now double bottomed. So Mara with a double bottom, setting back up. You put in a higher low off that double bottom. I want to engage back in that long. Tesla's not really doing what we want. I feel like the short that will come in here is going to be Intel off this 43 level. It's making a press at that high. Just want to see a curl here, and then we'll go for the short. It's a strong stock right now, so be careful. The chips are strong. If you're fading this, you got to have yourself an out. If I'm going to punch out 43s, I don't want to be getting it until it's at least crossed 90.
Yeah, chips are a wee bit strong. How about $8 strong right now? And again, this should not be fooling anybody. We actually added to our sticky note NVIDIA, and we actually tweeted it out at about, I don't know what time it was, early anyways. Here it is right here. There it is. So we tweeted this out at 8:54. That we definitely wanted to get long. We like this new 52-week high break. There it goes, man. And we talked about it. So hopefully you're in this. Even if you don't, look, not everyone's going to have $8, right? I mean, we took $8 on ARM yesterday in total, $9 actually. And we're taking more than that here. But NVIDIA just continuous long all day apparently here. And by the way, we did get out of our AFRM as well, as that broke above 46. So we're just playing with it. Like if it goes down, it goes down, but it broke that. We gave it a little bit of room. Obviously we punched out 80 cents ago. That's not a great move, but you know, you got to take profit at some point. And we did that. What's up, A?
Stuff here on AMC Networks. This is the cable and streaming arm of AMC here. They did release some data. The U.S. revenue, ad revenue has dropped 23%, but they have seen an increase in subscribers to 11.4 million. This came out a couple hours ago, so that could be what's moving AMC. It's also being heavily discussed on Twitter. If I see any other news or anything on this, I will let you guys know.
Thank you very much. You always want, if it's moving and you guys are asking about it, whether we trade or not, we're going to let you know what's up. I thought, okay, here we go. Disney, not quite, not yet, never. Oh, okay, that's just a bad wick. I liked 107 on Disney for obvious reasons on this 15-minute chart. I got excited. I saw a wick down there that it's just not true. Disney never traded down at that price. But it's a dark pool print. It is at 108 trying to put in a higher low, so I'll go back to a 3-minute. Needs to punch through VWAP. If 107 is going to be the price, then it needs to give me that fill, like give me an entry down in there, or hold above and show me a stair step, like some kind of an upward pattern, still in a bit of a downward trend. So if we're being patient, that's the new thing. Be patient, traders. Then I can't really go into Disney. It's not really looking like the long that it should be, especially when the market's at the highs. If the market's at the highs and the stock doesn't look like a long yet, then what are you doing? I never want that entry. So you can buy out support if you want, because then you have an easy out. That's what I'm looking for in Mara. And I'm checking in on Bitcoin, which is leveling off underneath 47,000. still bidding 46.44 here. I don't know if I get that. That was more of a technical thing on like a 30-minute chart. Why I like that 46.44, and we're just testing things out with BTC. So we've been the first ones trading it this week here at Real Trading, but I am trying to take a fill there at 46.4. I'll probably step that up at some point today. But it's Mara I want at 2280 off this double bottom.
All right. Yeah, 7 now for NVIDIA. We've talked about that. Microsoft, Disney. Okay, let's look at something else. Let's go over and look at AMD. We talked about, oh, by the way, I am now, go follow me on Instagram because I'm now posting everything. I'm like retweeting stuff on Instagram from Twitter. So if you don't have Twitter, head over to, as they say, the gram and get, is that what they say? Is that what they say, Ramin, the gram? They say Insta. Okay, head over to Insta and follow at Trader TV Sean, and we have a hot new social media team as well. What's up, Dara?
I found something else here on on Moderna. TD Cowen saying that there's some new trial data suggesting that Moderna's RSV vaccine is actually declining faster than GSK and Pfizer vaccines. It had a 25% decline after 8.5 months, whereas GSK saw a 7% decline after 14 months. So just some other potential news regarding Moderna in addition to that IPO-related news earlier, guys.
Oh, yeah, it's called X, says Joseph.
That makes sense.
X.
Yeah, I can see that being bad for Moderna. That ain't good, Moderna.
No, what is Moderna even doing? Oh, yeah, AMD.
It's dying.
Is it? Okay, well, we'll go over there in a second. I don't even really, we don't need to talk too much about AMD. We talked about what the trade was going to be, and that is that if you like the short in the chip space, and we went up to 172, then that would have been the area to short. We put that down yesterday for AMD. Obviously, we chose aggressiveness instead of patience with AMD, and we just went over to its brother over here, and it's like, this is not the evil stepbrother, right? This is like the king of the hill, man. We are over here with NVIDIA today. We're dancing, man. We came to the prom with the best NVIDIA today. Like, it's 702, huge move to the upside. The only thing that I feel like I missed was looking at Cloudflare, because they dipped down there. And again, I don't think the move was down here at 105 or 106 or 107. I think it's this break. Like, as soon as you get this garbage out of here, I feel like you could have punched long at 108. But again, you have to be on that. It's just like AFRM. AFRM, we would just be walking out of here and preparing for the podcast if I was smarter and just put an offer there. But we didn't. So this is the biggest missed opportunity for me today, easily, because I know we would have loaded up on it. But anyways, you're always going to miss some trades, or are you? Right now, 750 in the money for NVIDIA. No FOMO today, boys and girls. And $1.70 in the money now for Softy, as that continues to go higher. And again, the best part about this is, we've talked about it over and over and over again. That's why you want to tune in every single day at 8:30, and head over to Insta and follow the sticky note as well, because on here today we have Microsoft long at 415. That's the bottom. We had Disney long. We had a firm short at, like, we wrote down a firm short at 50. Like, hello, take your own trades. And then of course we wrote down NVIDIA long, which is now $8 in the money and still going higher. So yeah, today is just going to be hopefully one of those days, but we're going to have to wait to see where it goes now. And the reason why I just self-promote all that stuff is because it's for you guys. Like, I could keep the sticky note here, but I want to give it to everybody so we could talk about these positions. And often people are always asking, like, why don't we sell stuff? We could sell stuff, but it's giving it for free. So there it is. Those are the levels. And I just hope that you guys have been monitoring the sticky note for the last 3 years, and then you would know. But there goes Microsoft up $2. Every position we have right now, Disney's $1, Microsoft's $2, NVIDIA's $9. So today's a pretty good day.
Oh, it's a good day, it's a good week, it's a good month, but that's what it's all about here. Like, we're not asking for anything except you, A, tune in, B, enjoy the show, C, just try to grow as a trader like everybody else is around here. That's all we're asking. If you want to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and grow the community, go ahead and do so. Now, not every single trade is going to be a winner, but every trade has a plan of action that we try to do our best to articulate, sometimes as slow as possible, other times we're speaking fast to you guys. So in that vein, I'll give you two right now. One, we're back into Mara. I wanted to see higher low. There it is, off the 70. That was the third higher low, grabbed 81. Pretty much what we did every other time. Just got some out. If I'm risking 15 pennies, okay, maybe it's like 12 or 13. But when it goes 15 in the money in front of that 23, we start to take some out. Been doing that the entire way on Mara. And then VWAP as well. So it's been a downward trend, but we've been patient today in catching some of those bids. Intel, I said, could be a bit dicey, but if I'm stopping out at 43, I'm not taking anything till it gets to the 90 level. It showed some weakness here, so I rounded into it at 91 instead of 95, but it just blew right through 43. So I'm in, I'm out. Not turning it into a mess. If Intel wants to go higher, I'm going to let it go higher. We're going to let it go. Like, well, I'm not going to sing the song. I've heard that song way too many times. You know how it goes, especially if you have kids. So it's the same longs that we had at the open. Mara, Snapchat, because I didn't want to trade Pinterest today. Not that I didn't want to trade Pinterest. We don't usually trade Pinterest. Snap still holding on to this. I wanted to get down here at 11.10s or 12s for a reload. I'm rethinking that and might go over to VWAP now. So Snap looking pretty good. Rivian is holding out as well. And back in tomorrow, which has been the other dip buy. So Rivian holding out nicely, but you haven't made that next leg into the upside just yet. I think it can happen. It's just a matter of maybe Tesla breaking out or catching some bids above VWAP. Y Brothers United, look at AMD, please. If it's not at 17... Oh, okay, bye-bye. I didn't really, I mean, okay, I knew NVIDIA was going.
Yeah, we talked about it.
No, I know,
yeah.
but I didn't realize it was this much. I didn't realize it was this much.
Yep.
To be honest, I might have saved 10 cents and not even tried Intel that last time if I realized AMD was going this far. You don't want to fight when AMD is doing this. You just want to look for any kind of a sideways consolidation or a dip. Oh, and by the way, this just happened on BTC. Big bounce off 46.8. If 47,000 goes, watch out for those miners. So if you're trading like CleanSpark instead of maybe Coin or Mara, I'll watch out for that. But I got to take a fill here because if we're making that kind of a move on BTC and we're not even busting VWAP on Mara, just get down to 10s and see if we can catch a fill, then I don't think Mara is as strong relatively as it was yesterday. Because that was a decent bounce. I would have expected to be at VWAP here on Mara if it was trading the same way it was the day before. Still up on it, still finding good longs, but let's be real for a second. Whether you're making money on the dip buys, this has actually been a short off 24. If you look at that setup, this is a fail break at 24, and that's like $1.50. You can take these scalp trades for wins long, but I understand it's against the grain. At some point that can turn, and we'll be here for it if it does. Let's see what else is going on in the world of small caps with Adara.
Just a quick note, anyone involved in Paramount, the Paramount CEO is speaking to CNBC right now, so just stay tuned for that if you are involved in this name. In terms of small caps, we have the IWM up here, not doing too much, slightly positive on the day, definitely seeing a little bit of support at this 196.50 level. In terms of individual movers, we have a couple of 100% plus moves today. NanoString, this one a bit more of a penny stock, NSTG here disclosing financing to support its restructuring process, and it says they have secured $47 million in new financing from existing note holders. So interesting look here for NSTG. INBS, I brought this one up earlier, now trading up over 100%. This one, it is worth noting, this one did have a reverse split January 25th. Float of 1.4 million shares, and they did release some Q2 and 6 months sales here. So big increase for sales year over year for INBS Intelligent Biosolutions. Last but not least, 1847 Holdings. This ticker for this one, EFSH. This one is on the Amex, announcing a pricing of a $5 million public offering of 5 million shares and/or pre-funded warrants. So nice look here at 1847 Holdings, guys.
All right. Thank you, Adara. Let's just talk. I don't have any plan. Like, we're $9, $2. Everything is going well. I don't have any plan of getting out of anything, but I did want to talk about AFRM. I tweeted this out as well, is that we have to stick with our plan, and we did talk about that. So I don't, like, at this point, it is what it is. We should have still been in this name, and people were talking about, that we got out there. But again, it was into the pre-market low. It was bouncing around. AFRM does have that short float. It's down 10%. You could have had that bounce. Now, the SSR bounce would be now. So attention Brankles at everybody in the back there. AFRM right now is getting close to that 10% mark. So just watch out. You know, you could have a little bit of a movement here, but there's the take at $46. We got out. But again, you know, well. Microsoft right now is 220 and at the high of the day. I feel like this is a good spot now to get something out. So let's put another piece. We've let it go a little bit here, obviously. And there it is right there. Hey, to be in $1, 225 and 8 1/4 right now, we have to take something. I can officially now use the diamond hands emoji. I feel like when you have $9 and $2 winners. So we'll do that. It's stupid, but Microsoft's possibly basing out. I mean, it's just like why we get out here. You know, trading is 100% hindsight every single day. You will never, ever, sometimes you get lucky. Like if this was the high of the day and it ripped up there and then just kept on tanking, then you'd say like, okay, we got the high of the day. You know, but this was only getting out a piece anyways. So even if you get the high or the low or whatever, you're never gonna be in your full position at those levels anyways, but that's the day trader's dilemma. It's like, you know, you look back and you're like, oh, I just should have got out there, or why didn't I get out there, or why didn't I use more shares? You know, you hear me say that every day, but that's why I'm changing that tune, and it's just about the process. You know, you make the trades. Like, we knew we liked Disney. You know, it based out, now it is, there it is, now it's an official Dollar Club winner. You know, but we get out on these pops. Like, I don't know what's gonna do. It's down 1.4%. Right? NVIDIA, we talk our way through this trade. We talked about it holding this 200 and getting out on the pre-market bottom. We have to do that. You know, like even if you're trading 100 shares there, that's probably all that I had. You know, probably 150 shares. You know, but when it comes back in and we're losing down $1, $2 to begin with, we'll get out in case that gets a lot worse. Then we put that money back in and now you're seeing what's happening. So again, be confident. We talk about that as a trader and be prepared. There's really nothing else as a trader, and then eventually grow some balls or get some courage and use more shares. Once things are developing. And so I just want to say congratulations to a lot of the guys behind us, because I really feel like they're getting a lot more of that courage as we go. And that's what it takes, man, to be a successful trader, is to be able to hit your trades, be obviously green on them, and once you develop a plan, you go with it. So, you know, that's Trader TV Live, and that's what it is right now. Thank you, Alvin, man. All I really do is try to spit the facts that I mean, that's where this show came from, was me literally talking to all of the traders, all the newer traders at Real Trading, and then it was just like, okay, how do we get this to the masses? So this is how. We're doing it through YouTube, and I'm obviously glad to be joined here by Neil and Brendan and Adara, and then an amazing midday show with Sharif, where we talk more about education rather than, still they'll trade, but you know, more about education. And I think that's what's one of the most important things. Can't be a good trader if you don't educate yourself on the markets. So shout out to Adara and Sharif for killing it during that midday. Join us for the podcast tonight.
Oh, I see you, Juan. Just for some people in the chat, you know, if you put certain things in there, we appreciate all the positive comments, but if you don't get a chance for everyone to see it, if you include some language that YouTube is always going to block. It's a lot of good fun, and it's a great community. Let's keep it clean, everybody, to be short. But make sure you check out the pod. I like it on the Sundays. Everyone do your own. I can say this every single time. It's always been a habit as a trader, like that Sunday night, although it's the Super Bowl tonight, so it might not be Sunday night for me this time, getting ready for the week. Like it's like you've got all your stuff that you've done over the weekend, and then you're getting ready for your trading week, and it's a good time to consume that information. Everyone do you. It's available 10 o'clock anywhere you like it. I get it on Spotify. Apple people are going to get it on Apple. I'm not necessarily an Apple person. You can get it on YouTube as well. You can watch it. You can listen to it. You can do it while you work out. I like to, cardio was boring as all you know what. So if I'm doing stationary bike, which I can't stand, then I have to be listening to something. I don't do music. I like to listen to an audiobook or a podcast. That's just my way of getting through cardio. We didn't have free locates on CGC, so I just paid for some really cheap here at Real Trading. But it's breaking this 4 level, but I want to see it retake it. So they caught a bid at $4 for this flat bottom break on CGC that we're talking about in our preparation. But look at it wick the low and try to bounce higher. So this might be a secondary push down or play into VWAP. I only want to be short this name, so it has to really set that short up. which could be a retake of that low. If it breaks 4, again, makes a new low, I'm going short the new low of the day on CGC. And this is a flat bottom break after a reverse split that hasn't gone haywire. Hey, see? Just because you reverse split doesn't mean your stock gets to go to the moon. Fancy that. You'd almost think that was some kind of a rule lately, but that's not how it works. So I'm going short only if it makes a fresh low, and then I'm going to stop out just above that $4 level here on CGC. The newest position for me was Mara. You don't need a daily chart that's back at VWAP here, so I want to see it bust VWAP, get up to the 24 level, and then I'll try to get out of that one. It's been basically the same names here pretty much all day long, and I think that's the way to go. Snapchat is pulling back in. We wanted to try to buy a dip here on Snapchat. Can it hold 11.10? If it holds this higher low, then I'm going to add to it. Otherwise, I wait for it to get back down into $11 on Snapchat. So Snap long, Rivian long, Mara long. The only short I had was a loss on Intel. That given when I look back at that chart of AMD, it was a good out. You know, you'll get out at 43, risk 10 cents on it. That could be, if you try to like average into that could be a disaster. Intel on one, I'm going to assume ARM is doing some nice things as well when I look at that. Nope, never mind. ARM's not that strong today. This could be the one. If there's going to be a fade trade in any kind of chip name, find something with relative weakness. We talk about this a lot. Observe relative strength and relative weakness. If everything else is breaking out, and this is going nowhere, then on a curl, this is where you might want to be in the other side.
All right, let's just take 750 right now on NVIDIA. I just feel like it's having a problem here at 7-Eleven. Shout out to 7-Eleven. Maybe
There's never a problem.
Maybe a potential sponsor. You know what I'm saying? 7-Eleven, what's up? No. Oh yeah. 7-Eleven. They have hot dogs. You know, let's go 7-Eleven. Where are you at, 7-Eleven? Where are you at? But yeah, no, yeah, we could take, yeah, the market recap show you could use a sponsor, you know, the podcast could use a sponsor. If anybody looking to sponsor, marketing at tradertv.live right now. But yeah, so right there, look, it could continue to go up. We got out at 7-Eleven, so 789. It doesn't matter anyways. 710, sorry, 710.89 or something. So we got out now. We still have a little piece left, but again, you know, Microsoft is almost $3 in the money, and then we move forward off of that. So there goes Microsoft. We talked about that 415 level. I mean, I could show you the sticky note, but you guys already know it. It says 415 written on there. The bottom of the day for Microsoft is 415.05. So far, so good on that one there. Disney still $1, NVIDIA 7, and Microsoft 270. We'll look for some more. I do want to look at Tesla, and I do want to look at ARM because again, ARM does have a story behind it. Earnings and SoftBank, needless to say. So, all right, let's go over to the desk and find out what's up with crypto.
No shortage of things worth discussing with regards to crypto today. Lots going on, but first I want to highlight CLSK's earnings. That's CleanSpark. Really strong look across the board here. Q1 GAAP EPS up 14 cents, up from 46-cent loss per share year over year. Sales coming in at 73.79 million versus the estimate of 70.41 million. They also said that their hash rate is currently at 12.5 exahash per second. So good look all around here for CLSK, guys. In addition to the overwhelming strength from Bitcoin today, as you can see, we're edging back into that level that we were at around the ETF hype and the ETF approval for the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Above that 47,000 level, continuing really strong here, up about 4% right now for Bitcoin. Ethereum also joining in this movement just below that 2,500 level right now. Generally pretty strong across the board here for these cryptocurrencies. Cardano up about 1.5%. Solana up about 0.25%, but Avalanche up 3% here, guys. So definitely not as strong as Bitcoin, but lots of cryptocurrencies worth keeping an eye on here if you're looking for more upside.
Which we're always looking for upside. Let's be real about it. If you liked CleanSpark, no question about it. Like that was the earnings play, but you got to stick to, you got to stay in your lane. Like there's a reason I traded Mara today and Snapchat over the two names that had earnings. CleanSpark and obviously Pinterest. And it just comes down to, okay, well, what had the levels I was accustomed to? Which one moves in a way that I've seen before? And I just don't trade the other two. And that's what it's all about. Just stay in your lane. There are other things to play moves on. If I had traded CleanSpark over Mara, would it have been totally different? Like, look at that chart. And here, let me try to do it this way. When I look up, I have my black charts that are for me, and then the white charts are for you guys, because apparently this looks better for you guys as the viewers, which is what we're all about. Is it really any different? You get the same initial dip, a couple of bounces, now you're both hanging out at VWAP. Basically the same thing. I mean, the percentage is going to be different that they're up, but it's essentially the same move. But I'm just going to trade the one that I was more comfortable with, and I'm going to do that 10 times out of 10. Going back over to one other name, which is continuing to press higher, Rivian. I got to watch for this high a day. We have not been able to bust through the top on Rivian. I still think, and in my morning mix, I was like 17 breakout on Rivian, dip buy into a 17 break. So that's two separate trades. The dip buys happened. The next trade would be it actually breaking through 17, which means I'm getting out of this if it gets to the top, and I'm looking for another trade through that high of the day. Mara's starting to accelerate. I'm not going to get that. Let me just cancel my Bitcoin order. Like, it's a complete waste of time to have that order out there. It's annoying me. I should be buying 46.8 or 46.9 if I want to get a BTC order. But Mara's starting to power up to the upside, and if it cannot this time bust through VWAP, I'll watch out. I'm trying to get out here at the 75s. And if it fails VWAP, I will just jump out of this. This is a stair step down, and if it's stair stepping down into a flat bottom, I don't need to be holding on and not taking profit. I mean, Mara is going to give you 60, 70 pennies. You should be willing to take it even if you want more.
Yeah, oh man, taking profit has been a mistake for this guy today, but
Never a mistake.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you look back, obviously, that's why I talked about that stupid hindsight crap. Look at NVIDIA right now, another $1 up and taking out the highs. Microsoft is now $3 and taking out the highs. Disney is now $1 and not doing anything. And that's it. So we're going to look at Palantir again, because this was another name that we were looking at. Do you see? See ya, no. When it looks like this, no. Up, down, around. Not for me. We've definitely changed. I also want to thank Frank Jones there in the chat, because Frank Jones said he's definitely noticed the trading and sort of the improvements and sort of the style that I'm doing. So I really do appreciate that, Frank Jones. I mean, I'm trying to do, this is the whole point of the real trading. This is the only trade really today that isn't that real. It's just because, like, up, down, around, out, like, you could flush it, just so many fills there. It's very hard for many of you to make that kind of a trade. But these trades today were pretty easy, because again, it just followed what I was thinking about, was the 200 and then a pullback into sort of the pre-market lows for NVIDIA. Obviously, we had mentioned the 708 break. So even if you were super patient and waited for that, you would have still had to hold that about a buck against you as we dipped down into 106.50. But then the move happened, and as we said, it was fantastic there. So yeah, just keep on going with what you guys are doing and stick with it. And then same thing with that Microsoft trade. I mean, there's the VWAP. We took it at VWAP because we realized, that we had missed right there, right? So the minute that we realized we missed that trade right here at 115, we had to take something. So we did, and we took it, and like we said, it's been a good one here. Everything's $1 plus. I did want to look at Apple, because this was the name that we had talked about earlier on as well, and it's just breaking now. So this still has a good opportunity to go up. You're hitting that 200 period and breaking it, and now starting to go. I think it's more like a 189 break long, but this might not be the right name for you, because it's not doing anything. So if you want to scalp and you think that this market is probably near its highs at 18,000 right here for the NASDAQ, then maybe, yeah, oh my God.
The bulls are running wild.
We are 10-pack now on NVIDIA, guys. A 10-pack on NVIDIA, a 3-pack on Softy, and a little baby dollar winner over on this side, man. Today is one of these days, so we're very, very proud of what we've been doing today, again, trading it. So, yeah, just I hope everyone's enjoying it. We sure are, and let's just keep on going upside. Yeah, Pran, yeah, I should look at other names, and I will. I'll look at Amazon and all that. I just looked at Apple for you, but honestly, man, I'm just like sitting back and relaxing a little bit here as we see what's happening pretty soon on this market. I mean, I don't know where the stopping point is. We've gone short on nothing but a firm today, where we only took a paltry $3. So yeah, like I said, man, today we're at the highest spot. I just hope I can say that at 4 o'clock. So we're watching this. I'm thinking we're getting near the highs. I mean, a lot of us are probably thinking that, but every day, man.
It's every day we keep saying the same thing.
Yeah, like here's the NASDAQ 30-minute.
It's fresh highs. What are you going to do?
Look, like, you know, maybe we're getting exhausted there or there or there or there.
You look at the weekly chart or the daily chart, it's like we just keep making fresh highs. So you stick to what's been working. And in long markets, in bull markets, we should say, because who says long markets? In bull markets, you got to look to buy strong names. Now, that being said, as I mentioned here on the last trade here in Mara, I'm out of it now because yes, I wanted it to make a push back into the 75 range, and then I could get 50, so not 50 cents on it. I could get 70 to 80 cents on it, but it failed VWAP, so I'm out. It's that simple. I'm out. Lower highs into the flat bottom means a potential breakdown. So that's going to come out as a win into a downward trend. It's failing VWAP. Maybe it's rolling over. I don't know. What I want to hold VWAP next would be Rivian. So if it can hold VWAP, then I can add back into this. And I selfishly look back over. I just kind of wanted CGC for this flat bottom break. Just because you want it to happen doesn't mean it makes the breakdown. Still here for it, but as you can see, CGC is making a bit of a bounce. So there won't be, at least in the short term, I'm probably not going to be short CGC. A VWAP curl could come into play or retake of that low, but I doubt that happens the way this is moving. It's not very strong. It's flat on the day. The entire space has been kind of nonsense. And the other name we were mentioning was ARM. Cannot seem to break out this top, but I know it's down 5%, but there is a chip name that is weaker and maybe safer. If we do have a turn in the market, Micron never broke its high, and you don't have to worry about the ARM volatility if you trade Micron. If I was going to play short, even if ARM sets up, I feel like Micron is probably a safer bet because you've got the pre-market high to work off of, you've got the previous close to work off of, you got 85 even to work off of as well. So if we get a curl in the market at 18,000, or the chips start to head back in, it's Micron that I like, and that's the one I will take.
Just real quickly here, I'm going to pump my family's tires one more time here. Come over here quickly. I'm going to show you. This is what my wife put together. This is the day that we had at Scotiabank Arena. And she does the social media for the Etobicoke Dolphins. It was just so much fun. Here's the girls. We just did this the other night. This is a little bit grainy because of this browser. But again, just absolutely great stuff happening here. And then you also do have our Instagram, so I'll close this now, that you can go and follow, and including also Trader TV, Sean's Instagram here as well. You see I'm following Raheem. We got a couple good things going on here as well. So thank you so much. 126 likes, 12 comments, lots of fun stuff. Here's the podcast. Here's me and Michael Noss talking about SMCI at 400 and change that day, dad joke of the day. Here's a throwback to what we were doing. Like, this is the content. Here's the throwback to 2020. We actually talked about that before. Here's Brendo helping one of the interns at that time coming through. Sharice probably sitting back in here somewhere. Here's Neil and I back in the day as well. And then all the podcasts are here. Go find some good. This is pretty fun too that we put up. Here's a $10,000 trading floor mess, right? There's a $25,000 trading floor. I think that's a little bit more than that. Then here's a Hyundai, not bad. Here's 500,000, and this is where we're getting to here on Trader TV Live. Here's the $1 million, and then here's a $1 billion trading floor. You see, this is where you get deep mind involved in that as well. So go over, follow everybody, and have a lot of fun with us here on Trader TV Live. As we're doing pretty good, man. 350 now in the money on Microsoft. I laugh because it's just quite the roller coaster today if you're short, but long, it seems like the roller coaster is just not even about to turn down. It's like you're on that Leviathan there up at Canada's Wonderland, and you just keep going up, keep going up, keep going up, keep going up, and then when do you come back down to life? Well, we're not trying to, man. We're really liking this one here today. I was talking with a couple guys in the back, trading Expedia, trading Net. There's so many different names today to be trading, and we're going to go over to the screen now with Adara. Wow.
So many sectors to talk about, some weakness, but first we'll start with, of course, these tech names, just to get these ones out here as well. Electronic technology, chips to the upside, led by NVIDIA. Some reports from Routers that the company is looking to start a custom design unit. Then also on the technology services side, Microsoft to the upside. Financial Times reporting that OpenAI has reached $2 billion in revenue, mostly led by ChatGPT. So nice look for Microsoft. Nice look for a lot of these tech adjacent names here across the board. Finance a little bit more mixed. Health technology mixed to flat with some positivity from some of these names, including Eli Lilly still trending off its earnings Tuesday before market open. Retail trade, Amazon to the upside. Not much else going on in this sector. Consumer services a bit interesting. Some strength from Comcast and Starbucks, but a bit of weakness from Disney on a day 2 earnings play. In energy minerals, pretty weak across the board. Some of these oil names to the downside. Health services a bit weak with UNH leading this group to the downside. We also have to talk about consumer non-durables. Pepsi leading this group to the downside after some mixed earnings reports here. Coke and Procter & Gamble also trading down here in this group, guys.
I actually,
Goes up.
I want to get your opinion. So 2-time Cy Young winner there, Corey Kluber retires. Too early? I feel like
Oh no, his
elbow's bad.
his elbow's been bad.
And then Jays signed Yariel Rodriguez to a 5-year, $30 million deal.
They had to finalize. So we saw
Cuban pitcher. That
the
was
Cuban
that guy
pitcher
from before.
I actually am a pretty big fan. I saw him in. Well, I didn't.
That's
go
really
to the
cheap, I
WBC,
mean-
but he's a good young arm. He's got a good slider. He was pretty lights out.
Yeah,
in
6
the
a
World
year
Baseball
feels
Classic.
cheap for a pitcher if he's any good.
Well, he only pitched
older,
in Japan
right?
out of the bullpen last year, and then he didn't pitch at all. He did some showcase. So 2 years ago, he pitched out of Japan in the bullpen. We'll see. I wanted the Jays to make a real splash, like a big one, and then we didn't get Ohtani. So
See, this is what happens when I have a good day in the market. You see? Let's see what this says. Go to.
you got to hold it back a little bit.
I'm trying.
Pick one.
You can't. Let's see what it says. Olivia Rodrigo tickets. So this is what we're doing right now. But to sit up top, right here, which is the cheapest it has on this Game Time app, sponsorship possibly opportunities. All right. There's also StubHub. So there you go. So competing. See, you want me to talk about yours only? But anyways, $300 US to sit on the very, very top row. Right there. So I gotta use a little bit more shares.
Not so bad.
Right here.
Compared to what you were quoting, what was it, a month ago?
No, these are they've really only gone up because.
Oh, I thought I'd swear you were
those were
looking
the
at.
remember we were looking at. I think those were.
I thought you were looking at $500 for the concert last time. I'd swear.
Oh no,
you
that's
were.
$300 US a ticket.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so it is the same. Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah. So I paid. My brother-in-law is coming down at the beginning in a month.
remember you said 5.
And we're going to the Leaf game. I dropped 7 on those tickets. But again, to sit below, the face value of Leaf tickets are $350 to sit underneath on the 100 level. So the guy's coming all the way from North Bay, those 3.5 hours north, and we're going to do it upright. So
Got to.
Anybody going to the March 2nd game, Maple Leafs versus your New York Rangers, live at the Scotiabank Arena. Message me on Twitter. Maybe we'll catch a beer. As long as you're paying, you can, we'll catch a beer.
I did something similar. My brother as well. This is like actually my brother's ex. One of her, like, it's not her brother, but it's like a cousin.
Yep.
Came down to visit, and we're going to go to the Raptors. And we ended up sitting what I thought was like great courtside seats.
Yep.
And then, of course, you know exactly who. One of the boss men. I look over and he's like right behind the bench, and I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like, and he's just chilling out right behind the players. But there's always
Yep.
look anywhere close to the action in the NBA.
We're now $11 in the
When you think about like this, just
That's why I love Division Pro.
The ridiculousness of the athletes because
Yeah.
they're so fast, and these guys are monsters of men. Like they're huge, but they're so quick, and the athleticism is amazing. It was a question about my target on Snapchat. I did mention I wanted to get an out in front of 25s and then let it ride to the high of the day. I also was trying to get this bid. See, if I get it on the way down, I'm filled. If I try it on the way up, you might not get filled. But I just took that fill at 24s. Now I want the high of the day break on Snapchat, and I picked Snapchat over Pinterest because I think you have more data on a name that reported a couple of days ago than you do on the one that just reported in terms of price action. You probably could have bought a dip here at 35 for whatever reason on Pinterest. It could have been an SSR bounce off 35 and you would have got a win as well. I just prefer to go to the name that we know the levels on. Snapchat reported and then gave you 2 days worth of data One, making the low here at 11, then double bottoming underneath, and then holding the higher low, which is a close at $11.10. So I like that one a little bit better. We're holding Rivian, we're holding Snap. I'm out of Mara. I am going to be doing some crypto trading at lunch for fun, but it's Mara, the one I'd rather be more active in. So I'm looking for a higher low in Mara or wait for the bottom in front of 2240. One or the other. Luke, if you miss us saying something, just ask us in the chat. And if we miss that message, then ask us again. That's what we're here for. Let's go to Adara. And is it a segment? I don't know. So I'm just.
No segment. We'll have that in a couple of minutes here, but I am going to point out this money hero, MNY, up about 35% right now, reporting the resignation of its CFO and COO and has named an interim CFO. So a little bit of news there. Also worth noting, this one has a float of 9 million shares, and about 5% of that is going to be short, guys.
All right, man. It's 10:48. NVIDIA is now $12 in the money. I mean, it's just, again, a pretty easy trade today. Like, even if you buy that VWAP dip like we did, we got out and got back in. That was, I'm glad we did that, obviously. But why it was easy is because we had tweeted this out earlier, and let's just forget about, like, it's easy to look back. Like, and that's why I talked about yesterday with Palantir, how insane it was. So just like yesterday on Palantir, how bad a decision it was, this was a good decision because it's the best name in the world, and it was breaking 52-week highs, and it was stronger in the pre-market than the market, and we had ARM yesterday, and we had Meta, and they haven't reported yet, and the chip names continue to be super hot fire. So it's like, yeah, but it's not a wrapper. So it's up another 3%. And honestly, I'm shell-shocked. I'm just, it is what it is. Like, I didn't think that this could, I mean, I knew it could do this. And we've had $20 winners on NVIDIA before. So it's not like, you know, this is a fluke. You've seen this happen to many names. You know, it's just, this is continuing to go. I thought we were doing pretty good getting out here at 7-11 when we sort of based out. But shout out to Chef Joe. Shout out to everybody here. Shout out to the real ones that are in the chat. You know, we're not trying to do this. Okay, we're just making trades and then trying to let them run. So it's about the process, right? It's about going over your process. Join me with mine on the sticky note, and then hopefully we can get better, right? We missed a firm top. We'll see if we can hit it again. Very, very patient. I haven't really entered. We're at the highest spot. It's a trophy day, and we're not even entering any new positions. We're letting them ride, baby. And I feel like we'll figure out some stops, and we'll get those back in when we get back. So far, so good, man. We'll see what's happening here with NVIDIA, and we're going to go to Adara because, hey, man, I got to figure out these Olivia Rodrigo tickets. So let's go find out what's happening with Money Talks.
DXY relaxing a little bit this Friday, more or less flat of the day here, just above that 104 area. And kind of interesting here, we're coming into a little bit of support at that area of previous resistance, this 104, where we did have this top out in December. Also a little bit of a struggle here in late August as well. So this could be an interesting area of support here for the DXY. No economic data today. However, we do have Fed's Logan speaking at 1:30 p.m. So it'll be during the midday show. Definitely stay tuned for that. We also have CPI data and some core inflation data coming 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday. That could be impacting the DXY. Right now, just hanging out at the support area, guys.
I just figured out the first trade in the lunchtime I'm going to put on in BTC in my testing, something I didn't do yesterday. I tested stop orders on BTC to cover a position, but I did not test them to break out into a position.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that. And again, we're the first ones at Real Trading that have it, and I just saw this setup. So like if BTC breaks this high, I'm not going to risk a ton on it because we're testing this stuff out. It might not even, it'll work because I tested scripts yesterday. Yeah, but like a break here, 47.75. I'll probably take a breakout there. You'll see me, I'll be on the bid here at 46.8. Just want to be getting active. In the middle of the day, I probably took 7 or 8 trades to stay active with it and then take a little bit more, and as you get more comfortable, take a little bit more and that kind of thing until we're really just trading it and comfortable with it. Order entry is vastly different because I'm used to things with 1 cent at a time, and you really do have to put all the decimal places in right now, which makes it a bit of a different process. Just back to Mara quickly. I like the higher low that got put in there again. Didn't quite get it off to 23. I'd rather see this above VWAP at this point. So if it gets above VWAP, that'll be my inclination to get long. And Snapchat, I still want to break the high. Rivian, just to give you an update, I wanted to get out in front of 17s, didn't get there. Once it's holding VWAP, I'll engage with that one. And then a new one for you. Meta did this while we were up there with Adara, and that's a bit of a break through 470 in VWAP. Last I checked, on pretty good volume. You guys can see the volume down here. In the middle of the day, when volume comes in like this, then it's going to get my attention. Like, that's a lot of volume for relatively at the middle of the day. A pullback into VWAP, and I want to go VWAP dip buying on Meta. Whether or not it pulls back $2 to give us that chance, Meta now firmly on the radar. I know we're not always looking at the Magnificent Seven. Some days we are mostly looking at them. There's other days where there's only a few. Today, Meta just popped in there for me. And if I do short a chip name, as I said, it's going to be Micron. But I'm going to get in this bid on Meta at 470 if we can get back into VWeezy. It's actually VWAP, by the way. And it's average price, so it should be VWAP. And I know I say VWAP. I'm going to try correcting myself with that, because I hear Michael say it all the time. And then it's pull back to VWAP, which makes more sense. It's the right way to say it.
I'm going to stick with VWAP. I think it's VWAP. But shout out to Michael Crehan right now. Cut losses and let winners run. I mean, that's exactly, thank you so much. And yeah, by the way, Day Trade the World, real trading right now, Mike. And oh, by the way, thank you so much, man. I still have those dunks that you sent. I'm not wearing them today, and we're wearing a different pair of Jordans. But obviously, thank you for those Air Force Ones. And that was about 2 or 3 years ago. Thank you so much, Mike. I was wearing the 350 boosts yesterday, so that was good. And then today. But okay, so just real quick, thanks, Mike, for that super chat, man. No matter the amount, it just means a lot. And we know that you've been here from days. So thank you so much for that one. And so the other thing to talk about right now, I did want to look at that Meta. So I had Meta on my mind earlier. And it's because it was basing like this. But the thing was, we didn't have support. Like, we didn't have any of these levels that I look at all the time. So it's like, if anything, it was this break. Again, man, like, this is why I keep telling my kids, like, I don't want you to do day trading or anything like that, but they want to. And it's just like, maybe I just need more eyeballs. Like, this break of VWAP right there against that top level, that's a boom. A booming move back up there to the upside for Meta. So again, another good trade there for Meta, if anybody has it. I know we just talked about it. Let's go over to Snapper here because
I love Snapper.
Yeah, red Snapper is very good.
That's actually my favorite fish.
Okay, yeah, man, I like halibut. But okay, right into here. People talking about it, to me, it's still a short. I know we're up today on it, and give or take what
just quickly,
go.
Rivian just made a power move down.
What?
The other day, we talked about some people don't like don't like stops when they trade. Actually, Patrick was having this conversation with us as well, that he's like, he uses stops now, and it's the right way to do it. If I don't have a stop at break even, where do you think I'm getting out? Long at 47. Want to get out of 45 breaks. If I don't actually have a stop, am I really having a 2 or 3 cent hit there? Or am I losing 10 to 15 cents? Ask yourself the answer to that question. I know the answer, and it's rhetorical. But trading with stops, I think, is a must. Here at Real Trading, we have literally multiple different stop orders you can use. We have stop orders that'll get you out of 50% of your position, 75%. They'll flatten. They can use a specific gateway to get out. They can use a market order, a limit order. I don't care as long as it gets me out when a level breaks. So when the level breaks, I'm gone. Preserve profit. That's half of your job. Everyone else talks about, like, winning is great on trades, but how much do you lose when it's wrong is going to be the answer as well. So that just happened on Rivian. Noting that there's still relative strength in Tesla here for everybody. It is breaking down VWAP, but it's still green. And remember 191? If you remember 191, it's because yesterday 191 was resistance on Tesla. My favorite technical setup, I'm not a chartered market analyst or technician, I should say, sorry. But previous support turning into resistance is a pretty basic principle. So this is where I would look for Tesla to bounce, in and around the 191. Rivian looks too weak for me.
All right, 3 minutes left. You're going to, first of all here, where are all my subscribe things? I don't
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm on
just
the
hit
wrong-
one of them.
I'm on
I
the
don't-
wrong page.
Yeah, okay, me too. That's the problem.
Shoot. There we go.
Like, subscribe, and share the show
good.
that takes you into the heart of the market.
I got to
every day.
put those on both pages.
Yeah.
I have to reshuffle mine.
And what a perfect opportunity to show Sharif there, because what I was getting at was, thank you for liking and subscribing, but you're about to go over to what we call midday. What is the actual show called? I should know this.
How to trade.
How to trade. So
Thanks, Fabian.
How
Oh,
to
that's for
trade.
me,
There it is,
sorry.
right there. How to trade. And you're going to see the handsome Sharif and Adara coming through very, very soon. And the beautiful Adara, I should say, handsome Sharif, beautiful Adara, coming through very, very soon there on the midday show. So it's going to be a fun ride today. What's the topic, my guy? Pairs trading. Okay. Very exciting. That's something that you could do too. Make algos, all that. I'm not going to steal the thunder from these guys in the midday. But again, learn about some more trading strategies, some ideas. Ask Sharif and Adara questions. I really like how it goes. Like, Adara will ask Sharif questions and they'll go back and forth. So some experience with some, veteran and rookie maneuvers there. I think it's a really cool show. Make sure you watch it during the midday. So it's a little less active trading, but trust me, when these guys start to move around, they'll be trading them as well.
Well,
so
the small- yeah.
anything that moves. I mean, she's crazy enough to trade Eli Lilly some days. So let's not forget about that.
That's wild. I don't.
Yeah, and then she loves trading Tesla, Sharif as well.
Eli doesn't play.
Yeah, Sharif had some nice trades on Disney yesterday. We'll see what they have planned for you guys today. But there it is. Pairs trading on the midday show. Stay tuned for that, man. And I want to again thank everybody for watching that show because it's getting more ratings than ever as well. So 52-week high for how to trade right now. So, if you could have options, I'd have calls on that one. All right, yeah, we are. Thank you so much to the Crazy Stitch Lady. Hey, Crazy Stitch Lady, man, I hope you were able to trade some Disney with me today because Disney is $1 plus in the money. We have the low of the day on Disney right now. Where will we get out? If you say, will Sean get out at the 200 period moving average? Sean says, yes, I will. So we will get out there and we'll talk about ourselves in the first or third person, I don't know, as we get back up to the upside here. 109.20 is an out. Thank you, CompuCare team, man. That's, I know we've been talking about NVIDIA for a while, but this is a big trade for me today, and it's a great way to kick off the weekend. Get that confidence back after yesterday, and that's it, man. Like I said, that's what we do around here is trade, stick with what we do. You guys can see the trades that we have below, and you can see our entries, and you can see our exits, and you can ask us in the chat any questions you may possibly have. So again, man, thank you so much for watching. Neil's,
It's 11
we've
o'clock
already
already.
switched over. It's 11 o'clock. Neil, wrap this thing up.
CGC break the low, and I'm going to get short. That's the only thing that's imminently going to come into play here for me, I think. But hey, we'll be back. We're back at 2 o'clock to round things off. Don't go anywhere. Remember, we didn't say, well, you said this once, but we usually try to say it a few times throughout the day. We're back at 2. You're going to the midday. There will not be a market recap today. You can always rewatch yesterday's, though. It's because the podcast is being taped, and you can catch that at 10 a.m., 10 a.m., wherever you get your podcasts. Doesn't matter. It's
literally wherever.
Literally everywhere. Let's get to pairs trading. That's cool because you've got Bitcoin and some of these miners also moving.
We did miss AMC a little bit.
We mentioned it's moving. I know it's moving, but hey, there's plenty to trade today for some wins. But let's get on over how to trade with Sharif.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That is your girl.